Welcome to Wilson's channel.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another podcast live stream. This is Chat with Wilson, episode 13 featuring Heine, specifically Heine1004, 1004. What's up, man? Welcome back. How are you doing tonight?
I'm still tired from the weekend, but I'm, hanging in there, in recovery,
No, exact same for me. I feel like I'm fighting sickness and everything, but here we are. So, back from vacay. It went by so quick. Thanks for being here. Guys, thank you for tuning in. If you guys are watching the live stream on Twitch, if you guys are watching from YouTube, just know that there's like a live chat right now. So thanks for watching the YouTube portion. We will not have any alerts online during the duration of this podcast, and we also have two special commands I want to talk about. The first one is exclamation podcast, which you guys could use on Twitch. In short, it's for me to speak to my friends on a more personal level, just to get to know them or to stay updated with them, because it's kind of hard to keep track of like everyone's lives here and there. But when you kind of set time aside just to have that one-on-one conversation and like have it free flowing, it's very nice. So that's why I do this. Plus, a lot of people get to meet my friends and they get to learn more about them too. And then we have exclamation guest, which is a direct link to Heine's Twitch channel. I know he hasn't streamed recently, but he does stream in general. And so I'd appreciate if you guys could drop by, drop him a follow, and maybe say hi to him once he's live in the future.
If I go live.
No, you definitely have to, man. We talked about this before. You're on a hiatus, I guess.
Yeah, that is very true.
Okay. We've talked before on the Chang podcast, and do you remember what episode you were?
I honestly do not. I think it was like somewhere around the 50s maybe, or 40s.
But you do remember that was back in like, or how long ago? Maybe 2022?
I want to say that was a little over a year and a half ago, maybe almost 2 years ago.
Yeah, so you could do so much in 2 years, is basically what I'm getting at. So there's a lot of things to talk about when it comes to updates. Yeah, and you guys get to see Hein here, on the screen in the flesh, not the VTuber.
Yeah, no more VTubing for now.
Yes, so for those who don't know who you are, let's give them a little rundown where you describe yourself. Go for it. Your introduction.
Hi, I'm Hein. I was a VTuber who streamed Valorant, Genshin, and a lot of different variety games, but something that a lot of people don't know is that I streamed on a different account prior to this account. I'll get into a little bit on that later on. I'm also a rave slave, but I will be slowing down sometime like this year, but for personal reasons. But yeah.
Dang, another fellow rave slave. We love that. The slowing down part kind of hurts the soul a bit, but understandable. You'll get to that once we start talking about it.
Yep.
What is your day to day looking like right now? What do you do on weekdays versus weekends?
So for me, my weekdays are basically sleeping throughout the day and then waking up at around 4 to 5 p.m. to get ready for work. And then, I just drive to work my 8-hour shift, and then come home, cook lunch for the next day for my brother and me. And then, if I have spare time, I'll just scroll through my phone, kind of just respond to whatever messages I have. And, if I have a little more time, I'll play a few games here and there. But that's kind of less than likely now, just because I don't really have that much time to play. And then after that, I just pass out. I would say like 7, 8 a.m. is my bedtime. It's just rinse and repeat until Saturday morning at 2:30 a.m.
How are you liking that schedule since you're, awake at like such late hours?
To be honest, I hate the schedule just because when I'm at work, everyone's playing games, and sometimes I'll join Discord calls and just kind of listen to them, have them in the background while I work, and I'm just like, oh, I could be playing games with you guys,
Hmm.
but I'm here working. Or like if everyone's going out and having fun, I'm like, fun without me. I'm here sleeping away. But I mean, the job's pretty simple, so it's not too bad.
Is it still full time for you, or how many days and hours are you looking at?
It's full time still, so Monday, technically it would be Monday night through Saturday, super early morning.
Mm.
So, like a lot of my friends, they kind of get my schedule mixed up because they think, oh, I'm working Saturday. When in technicality, yeah, for like 2.5 hours, but I'm free Saturday and Sunday. So it's like I'm always having to remind them, hey, I'm not working Saturday.
So for your off days as of recent, right? Do
Mhm.
you typically just go with the flow with those nights, or do you kind of plan ahead to have something to do?
Um, well, I mean, for the past few months,
Hmm.
my weekends are always, if it's not going to events, it's going to Drew and Delena's house and just kind
Oh,
of hanging
okay.
out with them, playing board
Yeah.
games, or making perlers like this. Yeah.
Sick.
But other than that, if I'm like staying home, I'll kind of help around the house if needed and, maybe do some cleaning. Either that or I'm just, sleeping in, catching up on the lost sleep that I get normally,
Yeah.
and maybe like playing games with friends, but that hasn't really happened in a while.
Hmm.
So,
What
yeah.
games are you trying to get into? Like whenever your friends play, or
It's just kind of whatever they want to play. So sometimes it would be Valorant, sometimes Lethal Company.
mm,
Other times it's like tabletop board games type of thing. And I'm just go with the flow with a lot of things, but I do want to get back into Valorant as much as I hate it. But I mean, we'll see whenever I have time.
all right. So this is a question I've asked before.
Hmm.
It kind of comes down to your personality. Do you think your personality has changed within the last 2 years, where you might have been maybe more introverted or extroverted versus just today?
I would say it definitely has changed. To be honest, I would say I've become a little more closed off. Like I'm still extroverted, but I'm more closed off with certain people. It just depends on like the situation and whatnot that you know I'm put in, or just the vibes in general. Because I used to, like 2 years ago, I used to be super open, extremely caring about everyone and whatnot. But now I'm kind of like, I'm very picky at this point. Yeah. It kind of sucks, but at the same time, I gotta do what I gotta do to protect myself, my mental and my emotional health.
Yeah. So when you say picky, I'm thinking that it applies to maybe new people that you meet, or what are you talking about?
It goes both ways actually. With new people, I kind of observe them before I start opening up to them if I think it's, fair for me to open up and if I have that trust build up.
Hmm.
With older friends, it just depends on how they treat me in return. Like if I'm not getting the same energy back, then I'll start matching the energy they give me. And sometimes if they see that there's a change, they'll be like, "What's going on?" But if they don't ask, I won't tell them why.
Hmm.
It's it's just how things go nowadays with me because I believe that matching energy is important.
I see, I see. So clearly a lot has changed, and we'll get into the details when it comes to like events, friends, and all that.
Mhm.
Um, let's get an update, a general update with, let's say, your living situation and family first. So what's changed since the last time we talked about that?
Um, I would say there were a few things that definitely has changed. My brother and I, we've gotten slightly closer. Um, and then my relationship with my dad has been kind of growing. It's not like completely there where I want at the moment, but we're working on it. And I think the most major thing was the passing of my mom. Yeah, that that is definitely one of the major things that happened.
This is everything that's happened within the 2 years.
Yeah, within this 2 years. Yeah.
Wow. Um, I don't know like how much detail you want to get into it,
Mm.
but do you want to talk about first like what the relationship was like compared to now? Like it from my perspective, it was definitely very difficult, and you were at that you had the mindset where you just wanted to leave, or move out and just like kind of be on your own. And you even talked about like what it's like living with them, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
then, yeah, go ahead and talk on that.
Um. Well, I'm pretty much the black sheep of the family, where everyone kind of thinks the same, and then I'm the one that thinks differently, and I do things differently, and it kind of put a gap in the family bond between the four of us. Uh, there used to be like a lot of arguments between me and my parents, and like disagreements with my brother and stuff like that, but I kind of learned to not take things too personally. And sometimes, like, if things get hard and they're yelling at me, I just learn to walk away instead of trying to, you know, start a fight with them or trying to prove a point, because I realize that it's kind of pointless for me to do that, just because if they refuse to see my side, then, maybe I shouldn't waste my time. But now it's like they're more open. They don't really. They still care about the things that I do. It's just they don't really like bother me too much now. As long as I'm, not doing stupid shit
Mm.
and stuff like that. But yeah, I guess it was tough, but things do get better. Mhm.
Hmm. So, do you feel like the relationship between your dad, or like you and your dad, and then you and your brother, shifted because of the passing, or was it already kind of going towards like a good direction for that?
With my brother, it was sometime before. I would say maybe around last year. It definitely got better when he broke up with his previous ex.
Yeah, I see.
But then with my dad, it was after the passing of my mom. Yeah.
How long ago was that?
It was actually, I believe, January 11th or 12th. So it was right before Trilogy.
Wow.
Yeah. That's why, like, day one of Trilogy, I wasn't fully there.
Hmm.
I was kind of like, I was just in an emotional state the whole time.
if you don't mind me asking, what exactly happened to your mom?
She was battling cancer, and it spread to her lungs, and by that time it was stage 4. And
Mm.
so we had to put her on life support so then her brother can fly in from New York to see her before we take her off life support. But it was a pretty hard moment for for everyone. I mean, uh, the good thing is we were all there to support each other,
Yeah.
and get through it together.
When did you guys find out that she had cancer?
Um, we found out when I was still in Arizona, so I think it was
Okay.
my 1.5 years of being in Arizona. That's when my brother told me, and during that time, I wasn't as close with any of my family members. So when he told me about it, I was kind of mad because I had to hear from him instead of hearing it from either my dad or my mom.
Yeah.
She did beat the cancer initially, and then when I moved back during quarantine, that's when the cancer came back,
Mm-hmm.
and she went through treatment and whatnot, but it just got worse over the span of like 3 years.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see.
hmm
Was she at least somewhat communicative, like during her last
Um,
few moments or like months ahead?
I mean, she would say that she's not feeling well, and then
Okay.
occasionally she'll ask us to help her with like whatever needs, like, oh, can you take like carry me to the restroom and stuff like that. Um, but for the most part, she's the type that doesn't like to tell people her problems,
Yeah.
so she kind of like suppresses it, and she doesn't want anyone to worry about her. And I think that was like one of the hardest parts was we didn't know the condition until it was too late.
Yeah. Later stages.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
during that whole time, like in your experience, were you or like any family members like in charge of just staying home or something to like take care of her?
Um, that was the most difficult part because my the three of us, like my dad, my brother, and me, we kind of work
Yeah.
night shifts or like later shifts. So it would be my brother going to work first, and then me going to work, and then my dad going to work. So there are moments in time where she's just home alone. And for the most part, all the guys in the family, we sleep through the day, but my dad's the one that takes care of her whenever he's at home and stuff like that. And, occasionally if I'm home, I'll help her out. Like the last, the day before she was hospitalized, um, like she asked me to take her to the restroom, and I did that and helped her back, get into bed and whatnot.
Hmm.
So it was like little stuff that we kind of help around, but my dad was the one that was taking care of her the most.
So during that time, what was your relationship like with your mom?
Um, I was very distant still because anytime that I would have any sort of communication with my mom,
Hmm.
it was always her nagging at me or yelling at me for like the smallest things.
Yeah.
So in a sense, I would try to avoid her as much as possible, unless if she needed something, like she needed me to help her.
Hmm.
But other than that, it was just if if I'm at home, I'm in my room. If I'm not at home, I'm out and about type of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Did you have any? Did she like pass on any messages or like lessons to you as like that happened, and then afterwards maybe like did you learn anything?
Um. To be honest, I don't think there was like a life lesson. I mean, the only thing that I can think of is like it just made me realize how short life is, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, so many things can happen suddenly that sometimes you're not prepared for it. You know, we all thought that she was gonna get better, but it took a turn for the worst, and it was kind of difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even today, it sounds like it did bring the family closer, but you guys are all like just doing your own thing, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Like we kind of do our own thing, but then at the same time, we kind of help each other out. Um, like for me, I have to pick up the cooking, so then none of us would have to spend too much on buying food outside and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like when my dad kind of saw that I picked up the cooking and whatnot, he felt very emotional just because he's always been the type to see me as a kid and like immature and stuff like that, but
Like stepping up.
he yeah, like
Mm-hmm.
when he saw me stepping up and helping him out even when my mom was on her deathbed, um like the thing that he said to me that was a little painful but in a good way was, you've matured, you've grown up.
Mm-hmm.
And like just hearing that, it hurt, but at the same time I was happy to hear the recognition just because it was rare to hear that from my parents.
Wow.
Yeah.
So during that moment, like I'm just trying to imagine just everything. I know it's very this is pretty recent and there's like a lot I didn't even know about, right? How did you actually process this and everything? Like were you just alone, just kept to yourself? Cuz I know you eventually went to trilogy and you tried to hold it in, but like did you tell people?
um I told I told a few people initially, so it was Jacob, Drew, and Delana were the first people to know,
Mhm.
and just because they're the closest people to me,
Yeah.
and eventually I did tell a few more, but that was either waiting for my uncle to fly in or like after we took her off life support. And that's when I
Mhm.
told people. Because I know I also told you, but I can't remember if it was before or after. Yeah. But I mean, I would say Jacob, Drew, and Delana were the ones that definitely helped me through the whole process of like accepting the fact.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, did you have to like take any time off or anything, or were you just keeping it like the same your day to day?
I had to take time off for, I think it was like 2 days before we took her off life support. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and just so that I can mentally prepare myself the day before. And then the day of, I woke up early, went to the hospital, and just sat in the ICU room that she was in
Yeah.
and kind of waited for the time to come to basically pull the plug and let her rest.
Mm-hmm.
And during that time, just seeing all her past coworkers and friends coming in to say their final goodbyes, it was painful. Um, and what it kind of sucked because I was the only family member in the room, so I didn't really like have someone to cry too, and I
Yeah.
didn't want to like cry in front of everyone, so I just sat there kind of silent.
Hmm.
Um, but when the time came closer, I called my dad and told him that they should come in, and they all came in real quick, and we said our goodbyes, and I think that was the most painful moment, just watching the machine slowly take her life away.
Yeah. So in that moment, when people were like visiting, you guys were saying your last goodbyes and stuff. Was she able to like respond and everything?
No, she was basically in a coma.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see.
So I'm pretty sure she heard everything, but
Hmm.
at the same time, she couldn't respond.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I don't know. It was very difficult just seeing her just lay there
Yeah.
motionless,
Just go through that. Hmm.
And I'm gonna need to take a pause. I need to wake my dad up.
Yeah, yeah, go for it, go for it. I'll grab my food too. So since everything has happened and this is pretty recent everything, what are you thinking of when it comes to like your future living situation and just like being with your family since now you're like the head chef, you know?
Um, well, originally I was thinking about moving out, but because of certain things that I learned, um, it kind of gave me a realization that maybe it's not time to do that just because I need to help out the family and stuff. So,
Yeah.
I would say until until everything's situated, I'm pretty much going to be staying here
Hmm.
for however long it takes.
Have you
And
talked about have you talked about this to your family, like what they want to do and like their expectations for you guys?
um we kind of had a talk about it, and I didn't bring up anything that I wanted to say just because it would cause issues.
Hmm.
So I kind of just said, yeah, I'll do whatever it takes to help out and stuff like that. And honestly, it's not too bad considering the fact that I do like cooking. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not the best cook, but it's it's enough to survive, if you know what I mean.
And you're only gonna get better
Yeah, pretty much.
if you think about it, yeah.
Like if I think about it, the first time I cooked, it was terrible. But like the more I did it, the better it got. And I used to follow the recipes to the T, and now I'm just eyeing everything. It's kind of fun, you know. Sometimes just throwing in a little twist in there to spice things up. Yeah.
it's it's become like a new hobby for you too.
I mean, it's not really a new hobby. It's more of like a means to survive, but
Yeah.
it's also really relaxing to me. I don't know what it is. Like I come home from work stressed out, and I start cooking. I'm feeling relaxed. Same with like washing dishes. I'm just like, huh, this is nice.
Okay, so do you feel like your family is just really dependent on each other? Like because of that?
Um, I
Or at least on
think
you?
I think my brother is more dependent on me in terms of the cooking aspect, just because he doesn't really know how to cook well. Like the most he'll do is probably basic ramen, like cup noodle and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, my dad also knows how to cook, so he he'll sometimes cook food for us. He'll prepare lunch for my brother and me for like Monday work days, and then the rest of the week it will be me. Um, but other than that, it's like I try not to depend on anyone just because to me it feels like I'm being a burden to them. And
Yeah.
just because I know how much they have on their own plates. So having one less person to be a bother to them is kind of nice for them, less stressful and stuff like that.
I see. So that's the cooking aspect.
hmm
So how about with work? Like, since 21, are you still doing the same job, or what's changed?
Yeah, I'm still doing the same job. I think the only thing that's changed is that they had me cross train with another department, and honestly, being cross trained in that department, it at first it was kind of scary and daunting just because it's something new I have to learn, and it, more information to retain. But now I'm more comfortable with it. So there are times where if that department needs help, I'll just hop on over, help them out. And because of how fast I can get things done, it helps both departments out in terms of the workload. Because sometimes there's slow days and sometimes there's heavy days. And to me, I enjoy heavy days just because time flies quicker, and I feel more productive. Whereas slower days, I finish everything too quick, and I'm like, okay, what the hell am I gonna do now for the rest of the shift? You know. And sometimes I do find things to do, but there are other times I'm like, I don't even have access to certain programs to do certain things. So I'm just kind of sitting there twiddling my thumbs, looking like I'm not doing anything, kind of thing.
So with that job, you feel like it's something you're gonna be in long term, even moving forward, right?
Um, in all honesty, I don't think I would want to stick with that job long term just because the pay is not it. Like, to be honest, I'm getting underpaid for what I'm doing and for the chemicals I'm smelling.
Yeah.
And, like, keep in mind, formalin is a cancer inducing chemical. So, smelling that for a prolonged period of time, it's pretty bad for the health.
Are
Yeah.
you looking right now, or what's your plan then?
My plan is to basically get into coding and try to find a job after that program. But
Mm-hmm.
the plan is to start after EDC just because then I would have more time. And that's one of the reasons why I'm slowing down on going to events because I need the time to put into like learning coding and stuff like that.
Yeah, so you're gonna shift to like a more career focused lifestyle, basically.
Yeah, pretty
Mm-hmm.
much. Something that's more, to me, it's more entertaining just because I had past experience with coding from MySpace and Tumblr. So, yeah. Talk about the good old days, right?
Yeah, throwbacks. So, do you have a career in mind that you specifically want to, get or be a part of?
At the moment, not really. Just because I have a lot on my plate right now. I don't want to think about something that's too far ahead.
Yeah, the end game. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm more of the go with the flow type of person. So as long as I can see that there's like momentum being put forth into doing something else, then I can see where everything will go in the long run.
I see.
Mhm.
Okay, so wrapping up like the updates with what you've been up to, how your family has been affected your life.
Mhm.
Um, what's like the biggest learning lesson out of that you could talk about or like tell us?
This is gonna probably sound hypocritical from me,
Mm-hmm.
but even if you're not close with your family members, just try to enjoy the time that you have with them while they're still here. You know, because you never know what will happen. It could be the next day where you could lose a family member, or it can be in the next year. Um, try to take time out of your life to spend time with them, help them around, and stuff like that. Because I think that's the one thing I do regret. Like, yeah, my relationship with my family members wasn't the best, but I could have done something to better it.
That's solid advice, honestly. And that could definitely apply to anyone. So family, friends, maybe even people you don't feel like you're close with or that you're like on bad terms with.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, thank you for the updates. Let's talk about a little bit of social media, Twitch and everything. You could talk about the history of you being on Twitch again, but also let us know what you're planning to do with it in the future. Like, honestly speaking.
Okay. Well, I had to pull this up on the side because I totally forgot when I made my first Twitch account. But the first Twitch account that I made was back in October 18th of 2017. Back then I was living with my ex-fiance, and I discovered some Twitch streamers like iGumDrop, Angels Kimmy, X Choco Bars, and this guy's Toast. And because I started watching them, it made me want to try to get into streaming. So that's why I made that account. And initially, when I started streaming, I tried Fortnite, and that was not it. To me, it was not fun. I hated it. So then I went into streaming smaller games that were slightly older, like Left 4 Dead, like Left 4 Dead 2. I think I streamed that maybe a few days, and then I learned that there were different mods that I can put in to play different types of like maps. So I did that, and it was fun and all, but afterwards I kind of got into Team Fortress 2, and that's when it kind of went downhill for me, just because there were moments where I would do multiple 24-hour streams in a month just playing TF2, Team Fortress 2 and stuff like that, and it drained me. But there was a night I was streaming, and there was a pro TF2 streamer that ended up rating me, and during that time I had like maybe 1 or 2 viewers.
Oh.
So that was very shocking to me, and I think I streamed for that day specifically. I streamed for I think 30 hours.
Jeez.
Yeah.
You're going at it.
Yeah, it was crazy because then it got to the point where I was pretty good at the game. Like there's a character in there called Pyro. I specifically mained him, and I got super good at it, where the viewers were literally saying that I was playing like a pro player. And some of the viewers that would come in consistently, they ended up giving me some like free skins from the game. And I was like, oh, thank you for the free skins. And yeah, it was fun until I got burnt out and I stopped streaming. And it wasn't until my ex-fiance and I ended things that's when I decided, oh, this is gonna be very interesting. I downloaded a dating app called Kippo because Angels Kimmy was basically promoting it, And for those of you that don't know what Kippo is, it's a gamer's dating app slash social app. And through that app, I met someone that I wouldn't say we're close anymore, but we were fairly close um, just because we played a lot of games together with her and her group of friends. I think I mentioned this in the other podcast, but her Twitch is Sowie. Yeah, so I met her, and then she got me into Osu, and then from there I found out that she was a streamer, and so she was the one that convinced me to come back into streaming, and it was, I think it was the new year. I would have to check again. Hold on.
Shout out to Sowie, bringing you back into the Twitch
For
world
real.
after you quit the first time.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I created this account on November 15th, 2019. And then from there, I did my first stream New Year's Eve before 2020. So because of her, I was able to meet her other streamer friends, and then with one of them, I became a mod for. I met Elaine from Ohana. I think it's her Twitch, like truly so dewy.
Yeah.
I'm correct. Yeah, I met her, and then me and the streamer friend that I modded for, we convinced Elaine to start streaming, and that's when she started streaming. And from there, I met people from Ohana, and then I joined Ohana, and that's how I met, Drew, Casey, and everyone else in there. And then from there, it was just kind of like, oh, let me browse recommended channels. I found a Chowie, and then through her, I found you, and then through you, I found everyone else.
The rabbit hole. Just meeting people is so cool.
For real. And it was kind of funny because then the first time she rated you, I looked at your wall and I was like, holy crap, that's a lot of anime posters. And the one that stuck out the most were the Demon Slayer ones.
Okay, yeah. Especially during that time.
Oh yeah. Like I can see the Tanjiro one right behind you.
Yeah.
That I literally have. Where is it? It's like right there. That's the same one. It's just mine's like the
right
foam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, and I think when I started streaming with this account, I was a face cam streamer until I was like, I'm too lazy to get ready and to look good, because I would have to shave anytime I would, do face cam, and I was like, yeah, that's not it. Maybe I should just be a VTuber. So what happened was, because I was into Demon Slayer, I decided, hey, why not make a Demon Slayer themed VTuber avatar? So that's exactly what I did. I commissioned an artist, and to be honest, that artist did a terrible job. So I just took the clothes that they designed, and I just went into what was that app that I used? I kind of forgot, but I used an app. Oh no, a program on Steam. It's I think it was Vroid Studio, and that's when I created the 3D avatar that I used, which actually looked like the image that I had commissioned and stuff like that. And then from there, it was just, me playing games with everyone and stuff like that. So, yeah. now I'm just kind of not streaming just because I don't really have time. Either that or I'm just too tired to do it.
So over time, you just went downhill with streaming just because of time and energy.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I didn't really have motivation to stream, and it got to a point where originally I could play games for hours on end. Now it's like 2 hours max, and I need I need a break for the
Yeah.
next few days. Yeah.
What was the motivation beforehand though? Like when you first started streaming, and did you ever want to like take it to a certain level or something?
Um. Well, one of the motivations before I became affiliate was to become affiliate, just because um that was kind of like my drive. And it's not for the money or anything. It was just more of like, oh, I can get certain perks for being an affiliate. Like, people can subscribe, and I forgot what the other perks are already. I think sub badges was one of them. So I thought that was cool, and I guess the main thing was just meeting new people and playing games with them. And that went well until I guess certain things happened where there was drama, and I was just like, I don't want to be a part of this. So it started going downhill from there. But yeah, like I would say I met a lot of cool people on Twitch.
So wait, what drama are you talking about? Like that discouraged you?
Um, I just heard a lot of people who I thought were like who I thought we were all, friends and stuff like that, kind of start talking shit behind other people's backs. And that's something that I don't like.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, yeah, maybe it's time for me to back off a little. Cause like who knows if they're talking shit about me. But at the same time, I've gotten to a point where I'll let people talk their shit about me. Just cause in my eyes it doesn't really affect me. Unless if it's something really bad where it's rumors, like false rumors, then that's when I'll be like, what the fuck are you saying,
So like where you would draw the line.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I've had a few people who I thought were friends that have said stuff about me, and I've heard from other people, and I'm just like, let them talk their shit. I don't care. It doesn't affect me. Because at the end of the day, people will believe whoever they want. And, if I did something wrong, I'll own up to it and I'll say, yeah, that's true. I did do that. But if it's something that's not true, I'll let everyone figure it out for themselves.
Mm. Okay, so Twitch is not like a priority for you right now. It doesn't seem like. But how often are you using it today? And like, who are you typically watching or chatting with?
Um, I use it every now and then. So most of the time it's when you're streaming and I'm at work. I'll just tune in, listen in. I'll join chat every now and then. But other than that, like I guess before an hour before waiting for you to go live and before this podcast, I saw Lucas was streaming, so I popped in his chat and stuff like that. Watched them play Apex.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there are a few others that I would kind of jump into. I know before I went to the Bay, I was in Nikki's chat for a bit while at work. Anytime, like I would say, anytime my close friends are streaming, I would try to hop in if possible.
Yeah.
But if not, then it's kind of like, well, I'm sorry, but I got things to do. But if I can, I hop in.
Has it been hard for you to meet new people then? If you're typically watching your friends or just not on Twitch as often anymore?
Um, in all honesty, it's not really hard for me to meet new people.
Mhm.
Online it kind of is, but I've kind of found certain ways to meet new people, whether it's going to, events or using Yuzu, which actually works.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because I've met a bunch of people through Yuzu, um, and they're really nice and stuff like that. But like, there are times where I don't really talk to them. It's just more of me popping in and out because I'm the type where if I'm in a group chat, I don't talk a lot, just because I don't have that time to constantly be in there responding and stuff. Um, but
That's
like if
fair.
it's in person, I'm more like out there.
Mhm.
Yeah. Like I met some of them at Beyond, which was pretty cool.
Oh, cool. Okay. We'll definitely
Mhm.
talk about that and the use of Yuzu. So I'll keep that in mind. But realistically, yeah, Twitch is like its own world where you
Mhm.
definitely can meet people, like streamers, maybe specifically reviewers, and then there's the outside world where you're touching grass and everything. So you found your ways to at least be able to put yourself out there, which is good.
Yeah. and and sometimes like on Twitch you meet good people and sometimes you meet bad people. And I've had a fair share of both sides where I've met some bad eggs and I'm like, oh. And then I met the good people and I'm like, you guys are cool, you know.
Do you have stories of that, like what you call or consider as bad eggs?
Um you just have the weirdos in chat that try to befriend you. Um and by weirdos I mean like people that would just come in and try to flirt and stuff like that. Like it's one thing to flirt if you're friends with them already, like kind of like how everyone in chat flirts with each other and stuff. But it's different if it's a random person coming in trying to flirt with you. I'm like, I don't know who the hell you are. It's making me uncomfortable. And then there's also the stalkers, you know, because I've met some people that would stalk people, and I'm like, yeah, I don't want anything to do with you. Goodbye.
Oh, so this is all like online and surface level. It's not something you've come across in person.
Pretty much. There was one where I met them in person, and
Oh,
they they caused a lot of issues. Uh, I mean, I can talk about it. I'll just not say their name. I'll
yeah,
just
go
use
for
like,
it.
yeah. So
Whatever you're good with.
I met this person at Countdown 2 years ago. The year where it was raining hella hard.
We're talking about Twitch streamer.
He's not a Twitch streamer. He was a viewer
Mm-hmm.
in another friend's chat, and he, I said that I was going to Countdown, and it was in like my friend's Discord, and I said, "Oh, I'm going to Countdown," and he was like, "Oh, okay, I'm also going." So we met up, and I thought he was a cool guy until I think it was like half a year later when he got laid off from his job. He became homeless, and his friend during that time housed him. And the most fucked up thing that he did was he stole a bunch of cards, like valuable Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
From his
And
friend.
yeah, from his friend who housed him. And what
Damn.
happened was that day, I remember I woke up and he texted me. He was like, "Hey, are you going to Frankenson's?" I said, "Yeah, I'm planning to go." And he was like, "Oh, let's meet up." So I went with him, and he was like, "Oh, I have some stuff I'm trying to sell." And I took a look at everything. I was like, "Oh, damn, okay." I went in with him, and he basically sold most of the cards. And there were a few cards that I was like, "Oh, this is really pretty." And he was like, "Oh, you want it?" Which I was kind of sussed out just because I was like, you could be selling these cards. Why are you just giving them to me for free? But like, I was like, okay, sure. So I think he gave me 2 cards and he sold a bunch. I think he made $800 off of them. And what happened was a few days later, I was at work and I received a message on Instagram from his friend. He was like, hey, did you go to Frankensons with this person? And I said, yeah, why? What's up? And instantly I thought, there's no way. There's
Yeah.
no way this is happening. And he told me, yeah, because a lot of my cards are missing. And it was a good thing that I took a picture of a few of the cards that were in the binder that the guy was holding. So I was like, is this yours? And he was like, yes. So then I helped him confirm that he did steal the cards and all that happened. And so I was basically helping him to confront that guy. And eventually we did. And long story short, we're no longer friends with that guy. And the one thing is, after that countdown, I told a few of my friends, hey, I'm gonna quit vaping. But what happened that brought me back into vaping was that guy sent out a text to a bunch of people, and it was like a suicidal sounding text. So I was stressed out because for me, if I know that someone I knew was in a situation and if they did end up taking their life and I could have done something to at least try to prevent it and I didn't, I would be scarred, you know? So I was basically running around trying to figure out how to contact him. He turned off his phone. I ended up going to my local police station and got a hold of an officer and told him everything. And then we eventually got a hold of him and, you know, made sure that he was okay and stuff like that. But he was the reason why I got back into vaping. Yeah.
Dang, I had no idea about the details of this story.
Yeah, it was stressful. And I was just like, what the fuck? Why would you do that to someone that offered you a place to stay? Like, why? That's the dumbest thing you can do.
And then today, you've moved on since then, and you haven't spoke.
Yeah, pretty much. The last time I saw him was when I think it was last year when Annie came down to LA. I forgot for what reason again, but I did see him just because he was also in her chat and she did a meetup at round 1. So I drove over there, said hi, and then I saw him. I was like, oh, it's you. Okay.
Have I met him before?
um, you
Because
might have. You might have.
for some reason, like a name just like popped into my head, even though I don't know if that happened and he was the person in your story. But
I mean, you can text it to me and then I'll say yes or no, but
mm,
like I don't want to like
yeah. I don't want to expose him either.
Yeah. Because I mean, I'm pretty sure he learned his lesson now.
Yeah.
So
Okay, how about this? What's the third letter of his Twitch name?
L.
Okay, I know who it is.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Got it.
No idea.
Yeah, that was him, man. Yeah. Yeah.
Shit.
That was the worst bad egg ever that I've met.
Okay, so speaking of like Twitch, sorry, I'm done eating now. I'm still recovering, honestly, from Beyond, where I feel like I'm fighting sickness, and my lips are extremely dry and in pain.
That's because you were kissing your rave bay all night long, right?
No, it's because I didn't drink water. But You're creating a false narrative, buddy. Relax, relax, relax. He's lying, guys. He's lying. So, what what do you want people to know about you, like your as a public perception that they might not know? Because you know how there could be like an online perception or just like a view of you. How
Mhm.
about in person?
Um, I would say if you're meeting me for the first time, I am more closed off. And that's because I'm the type of person who wants to observe everyone first before making the judgment of whether or not I should open up more or if I should remain closed off just because there were times where I opened up too quickly
Yeah.
and things got out of hand. um it's funny that Michelle said that because there was someone else whose first impression of me when meeting me in person said the same thing. Um, I could. It seems like I'm scary, but I'm not. Like I'm the type that if I know you well enough, I will bully you out of love. Like I don't bully to be mean about it and stuff like that. I'll pick on you. I'll flame you here and there, but at the same time, don't take it to heart. It's very lighthearted. If you don't like that, if you don't like the things I'm saying, tell me. Let me know so I can stop or tone it down. But if you don't let me know, but I know, I'm the type to keep going, just because I would rather have you communicate it to me than not communicate it to me.
Mhm.
Um, I am an avid people watcher. Like I will watch people for as long as I need just to see how their personality is and how they act. It That's because it's amusing to me. Sometimes you see the weirdest things or the funniest things happen, and I'm just like, huh, this guy's funny. But yeah. Um. Also, if you get close enough to me, I'm the type of person that will go out of my way to do anything within my power. You know. But if not, sometimes you ask me for favors. I'll kind of see if I can do it or not. If not, I'll say no. If
Uh,
yes, I'll be like, okay, I'll do it. I'm also, I tend to be a man of my word. So if I say I'm going to do something, I'll do it unless if there's a certain reason why I have to go back on it. And if there is, I'll let people know like, hey, I can't do this because of this reason. I'm sorry, type of thing. Yeah.
see. One thing that you mentioned that I think is pretty cool that I could relate to is sitting it back and being observant
Hmm.
before like opening too much or just like showing too much of yourself. I tend to do that,
Hmm.
and I guess it creates a misconception or like a thought that I'm very introverted, and I've heard that many times. So like a lot of first impressions with people that I meet, they tell me that I seem very introverted because of that reason. So it might catch other
Hmm.
people off guard, but it's so interesting just to hear that.
No, yeah, like people do see me as introverted, but it's kind of the same with you. Like we don't talk much. We scope out everything, and then once we feel comfortable, we kind of just explode. And
Hmm.
then they're like, "What is this?" Yeah, like from the first time meeting you till now,
Yeah.
there's a major difference.
All right. Straight facts.
Hmm.
Let's continue. Let's talk about friendships.
Hmm.
I'll be in the next one. There's a lot to say about friendships. Before that, actually, I'm gonna grab water real quick, just so I don't suffer throughout the podcast, if anything. And feel free to do
Okay.
so and to talk to chat. Thank you for being here, guys. By the way. So friendship, guys. Next topic. What do you value, and what does it take to be close to you?
Um. Okay, so what I value in friendship is trust, communication, and respect. That's like the basic thing for me. Um, like we don't have to talk a lot, like on a day-to-day basis. We don't have to see each other every day or every week. It's just as long as there's trust and respect built into that with, I would say, decent communication, that's already like there. But to be close with me,
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's pretty difficult because you would have to gain a lot more trust than just a normal friendship to the point where I would say, where I'm comfortable with sharing a lot of deep secrets with. And not only that, it's like I would have to have the most utmost respect for you, and they would have to respect me the same amount as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because to me, it goes both ways. Like, I don't want something where it's just a one way road where I'm putting out more or they're putting out more type of thing. Because then it's not fair to either side if that's the case. Also, if you're a close friend of mine, one thing that I would one thing that I want in a close friend is someone who would call me out for whatever shit that I'm doing. You know, if you don't like something, tell me. Call me out on it. You know, someone that's not afraid to be upfront and, just slap me in the face with reality if I'm doing something stupid. Um, and also, it goes both ways where if I'm calling you out for something that you did, like something stupid, I want them to not take it to heart and stuff like that. Like, yeah, I know, confrontation will hurt. At the same time, I need someone that understands that confrontation comes from a place of love and that it's part of growth. And that's why I'm close friends with the people that I'm close to because they're not afraid to tell me what's up and
Mm-hmm.
they're not afraid of me confronting them with whatever shit that may have happened, stuff like that.
Nice. No, that's
Hmm.
true. I've heard you talk about that before.
Yeah.
So, do you think your mindset has changed within the last 2 years, or has this always been what you've thought of, like when it comes to friendships?
It's definitely changed. Because I would say 2 years ago, I considered everyone a friend,
Mm-hmm.
and I had a large group of people that I considered close friends.
Yeah.
But recently, I've grown into the mindset where I've closed off the border of friend versus close friend just because there were a lot of things that happened and people that I trusted and respected just did things where I just felt like it hurt me
Mm-hmm.
and it felt like it was a backstab type of thing. So I limit myself to certain people who I'm comfortable talking to versus other people where I'm like, I'll say hi, I'll hang out with them, you know, we'll talk every now and then. That's it. You know? Yeah.
What are you comfortable talking about when it comes to those specific examples? Because for me, I want to know, like, I do want to learn from your personal experiences why you had
Mhm.
changed, like, your mindset.
Um, one of them it was more like because I observed everything that people do. their words didn't match up with their actions. Like
Okay.
they would say one thing but do another, or they would blatantly straight up lie, and I would catch them in the lie, type of thing. And like I'm the type where it's like, this is gonna sound a little toxic of me, but I'm the type where if I catch you in a lie, I won't say anything, but I'll laugh on the inside. The same thing with like, if they said they're gonna do something and then they don't do it, and there's no good reason behind why they're doing it, then I laugh. And I'm like, that kind of shows like who they are as a person. It's kind of like their character. And that's how I see it, you know? Because for me, it's like, uh, why would you need to lie about something? You know, just be truthful and everything will be okay. Like, if you, like, for example, me saying I was gonna quit vaping, I did. I went cold turkey, didn't touch a vape. And there were times where I had extra vapes. I would tempt myself to see if I would do it.
Yeah.
Just, put it in my pocket. And I did that for a whole month straight where I had one in my pocket and I would never pull it out. But it wasn't until, that guy stressed the living fuck out of me that I had to go back into vaping. But that was the reason I got back into it, because I was stressed to the point where I needed something to calm me down and stuff like that. Also, like, I guess in a sense, like if something's bothering you, like something that I did that bothered you and you don't tell me about it and I figure it out and you don't talk to me,
Mm-hmm.
then it's kind of like, okay, then was there really a friendship? Like there was someone I was really close to. Some shit happened. I found out why there was a distance between us, and talk never happened. I was like, okay, whatever. I'll just let it be. Whenever they're ready to talk to me, I'll be open to the talk. And like, I'm also the type where you talk to me about things, it won't hurt. I don't get hurt easily.
Mm.
I'm not a snowflake, you know. So it's just more of whether or not you're going to take the time out of the day to tell me certain things or not. Because one thing I value is that if you come up to me and talk to me about certain problems, maybe something I did, that helps me grow as a person, and that also helps strengthen the friendship.
Okay, so you would prefer to be upfront if something were to happen, and you would also like it both ways, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, no beating around the bush. This is not high school. This is not middle school or elementary school. We're all adults, you know, straightforward. If it hurts, it hurts. You grow, you learn. If friendship doesn't last, it doesn't last. So be it. People come and go. That's how life is. And that's how I see it.
Yeah, you've learned a lot about this from people that you considered close, right?
hmm
So,
Yeah, I've had a lot of friends. Like I broke off a lot of friendships because of certain things, and it's helped me grow and become the person I am today. So, like, yeah, I value my friends, but at the same time, if it's affecting me mentally, emotionally, and perhaps physically, I'm gonna break it off. But if it doesn't affect me, I'll still fight for the friendship, you know?
when you say break it off, do you mean like you would be upfront about it and say it's like
hmm
done?
Yeah, I either shoot them a text and be like, hey, it was nice being friends with you. Thank you for all the good memories. I wish you the best of luck in life with whatever you may do in the future. If we cross paths again and become friends, cool. If not, so be it. And that's a text I sent to most of my high school friends. I think it was like 2, 3 years ago when I broke off the friendship with them.
Mm.
But now it's like I also have to consider, if I break off friendship with a certain person, how would that affect the group if they're friends with the people that I hang out with?
Yeah, same friend groups.
Because then if you do that, then it's gonna, like, the way I see it is, it'll put the like other people in the group in a situation where they can't hang out with both people at the same time without it being
True.
awkward or without, drama happening. So I've had a situation where I decided I'm not going to break off the friendship just because of the friend group. I would rather remain just friends and nothing more. And if they want to get close to me again, they would have to prove to me that they're a better person and that they can be my close friend again.
Yeah. So earlier you made the examples where someone close to you has blatantly lied to you and you didn't know why, but instead of confronting them, you just let them, continue it on just to see like their true character and sides of them. You mentioned that, and then you mentioned how um someone would go behind your back and just talk to other people about problems they have with you. You would just kind of let that slide. But then knowing about these two things and having that mindset where you would prefer being upfront with people, why do you feel like you can't be the one to approach them and talk about it if you consider them like really close to you?
Well, if they were really close to me, I would confront them. But if not, then I'll just let them be.
Yeah.
Just because I don't like. I've gotten to a point where I don't like to exert my energy on people that would do stuff like that. The only time I will put out my energy and my time is if I'm close friends with you, just because I value you as a close friend of mine. And I do see the friendship lasting down the road.
Okay.
So that's kind of like where the line is drawn. It just depends. But like if a close friend's talking shit about me, then of course I will be like, why the fuck are you talking shit about me? Why can't you say it to my face? Type of thing. Yeah.
I see. So it's definitely like a mental process, like a long term thing. Because if this were to happen again, you're kind of taking it as like, okay, am I really close to this person? Why am I close to them? And do I see like a future of them, where we kind of benefit from this friendship or we just feel like they're worth having in your life?
Yeah,
That's how
exactly.
you're gauging it.
Yep.
Okay. Do you have any other sorts of like fallouts that you want to refer to or talk about where it has helped you grow as a person or just taught you something about friendships that you didn't think about before?
I guess it's. I guess like I also watch what certain friends do. If they do something that I don't really like, I'll start distancing myself from them. But I'll still talk to them every now and then.
Yeah.
But like there will be like a slight distance or slight disconnect with them. Like I won't fully just be like, "Hey, I'm done with you." It takes a while, unless if something drastic happens, and that's when I'm like, "Goodbye, out of my life."
Hmm.
But I mean, I guess those are like the main examples.
Do you have any specific icks when it comes to friendships then? Like other icks or maybe when it comes to being close friends specifically?
Oh, definitely liars. Like I okay, if you lie and there's a good reason for why you're doing it, like For example, I'm not gonna say who it is. They're in chat.
But a good reason.
Technically, they lied about saying not going to this event, but they showed up. But the reason was they wanted to surprise people. That is fine, you know? That is perfectly fine. But if you're lying, like, let's say about like substance abuse or like vaping, and there's no good reason why you're doing it again, then that's like, come on. You're lying to yourself, you're lying to your friends, you're not trustworthy at that point, you know. Another ick is probably like people who are fashionably late to plans, because I'm the type that goes either early
Yeah,
or
yeah.
on time.
That
But if you're
hurts.
fashionably late every single time, I get annoyed of it, and I'm pretty sure other people get annoyed. Like if you're making plans, make sure to get there on time. Like 10 minutes late, okay, fine. But if you're like half an hour, few hours late, come on. Why even bother showing up at this point? You know? I guess those are like the main ones. Other than that, like smaller ones that slightly bother me but doesn't really bother me. People that are constantly talking about drama that don't pertain to them.
That's a good
Like
one.
yeah, like don't get me wrong, I like listening about tea and reading about it, but if it's constantly like different types of drama being brought up in every hangout or every conversation, I'm just like, bro, do you just live for drama? Do you have nothing better than to do or like to talk about that you have to bring up? Oh, so and so did this or this happened. Like it's one thing if you're talking about it in a joking matter, like me saying, "Oh, Jay Choi, you
I
know, I
fucking
can
knew
change
you were gonna
her."
bring that one up. That's the exact one I was thinking of. Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's one thing to like jokingly talk about it, but it's another if it's like, "Oh, Jay Choi this, Jay Choi that." Like, okay, at that point, shut the fuck up, walk out the room, goodbye. You know.
Yeah, you guys are funny. And fix her, huh?
I mean, I can fix her or I can, you know, ruin her life, but good thing I didn't see her. I know a few people did, apparently. And I did call it out. She was going to Beyond, and I said it. But yeah.
Allegedly. They saw her? Okay.
Yeah. I guess the last one is like if they're too judgmental. Like if you're judging a person based off of something they do, like they can be the nicest person ever and they do one thing wrong and you start judging the hell out of them. That's when I'm like, okay, like that one thing doesn't mean anything, you know? Just because they fucked up once doesn't mean they're a bad person. Everyone fucks up at some point, you know? We're all human. That's just the way we are. We fuck up, we learn from it, or we fuck up and we keep fucking up. And then that's when you're like, okay, there's something wrong, you know?
Yeah.
And then at that point, it's like, it's up to you to help them grow and fix whatever problems that they messed up on, or you just let them be. Yeah. I guess those are like the main icks. There's probably more that I can think of, but oh no, I just thought of one,
What's
the
up?
major one. People who drive under the influence, but knowing that there's someone that's capable of taking over. Like if you're my friend and I know you're tired or you've been drinking or you know did pre-workout and I'm completely sober and you won't let me drive so that everyone gets home safely, that's an ick. a major ick for me. Like, come on. You're really gonna put yourself at risk and other people at risk? That's, to me, that's not cool. And that's why I'm very smart about the things that I do. Just because, like, I need to make sure I'm capable of taking over just in case. Like, for example, at Steve's birthday, I drank a little bit, but it wasn't enough to get me, like, drunk or buzzed. But when someone told me, hey, can you drive Steve home? I said yes. And someone else came up to me and tried to get me to drink. I said no. You know, and after that, I was capable of driving Steve home and stuff like that. You know, that's just an example.
It's like being responsible and not putting anyone else in harm's way.
Yeah. I guess another example is like Countdown 2 years ago. I basically took pre-workout, but I was a driver. So I did it early, and then I made sure I was sober before I started driving.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, those are my eggs.
Responsibilities. Yeah, the rain.
Mhm. I mean, it's not hard being a responsible person.
Yeah.
You know, it's just it's just at the end of the day, everyone's choice. You make good decisions, you make bad decisions, you learn from them. Yeah.
What do you think you need to work on as a friend?
I personally think that one major thing I need to work on better is my communication. Like, I do communicate, but I think I can do better in terms of that.
Hmm.
There were times where my communication wasn't clear and it was just a mess. But thankfully everything worked out at the end. But that's definitely one thing. I guess another one is like, this is gonna be a hard one just because of my schedule. Kind of like checking up on everyone every now and then. But due to my schedule, it's like it's a little harder just because I can send a text at like midnight, but they're passed out already, you know,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So that's definitely another one. And probably like making sure no friend is left out because there are times where certain people are left out of things. So that's definitely one thing I need to work on. You know, like for me personally, I don't care if I get left out. You know, if I'm not invited, I'm not invited. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not in a group chat, so be it. You know,
Mhm.
there's probably a reason why I wasn't invited. There is probably a reason why I wasn't in the group chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, so to me, I don't care, but I do care about people getting left out because I know how it feels, and it doesn't feel good.
Yeah, but you don't care for yourself now, but you still look out for others.
Yeah, pretty much. That's because to me, it's like being left out. Yeah, it sucks, but at the end of the day, I can put my time into doing something else, you know? Like, for example, this didn't happen, but for example, like, let's say everyone in a group chat is going out to eat. I'm not invited because I'm not in the group chat, and I hear about it from another friend. I'll be like, yeah, I'm not going. I wasn't invited. But you know what? I'll drive down to San Diego. Why not?
Okay, I've seen examples of those, but
Hmm?
that's a good one.
Yeah.
I think that definitely goes back to the communication and yeah, just
Mm-hmm.
possibly being left out for a reason.
Yeah. It
Okay.
is what it is, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, so as of now, I like how you mentioned that you have like a fine line between
Mm-hmm.
friends and close friends. Like you don't have to specify a number or anything, but kind of give me like a gauge of how many categories of friends you have. Because I talked about this before, like in the earlier episodes,
Mm-hmm.
like where there's just like kind of acquainted friends that are like low maintenance, but you're not necessarily close to, you know.
Mhm.
And then there's like the ride or dies. But then there's also friends that, like, when I say categories, it means maybe friends that you could actually talk to about personal things
Mhm.
or not, but they would still be close. Maybe friends you could do certain things with, like even going to events with. Like, talk on how many different categories you have since these past 2 years.
Um, 2 years ago, it was just friends and close friends. Now it's acquaintance, friends, close friends. Um, I would say my close friend group, there is probably, I would say around 10 people I consider close friends. Majority of the people in chat would be friends, and then there's a few that are acquaintances.
Hmm.
Um, like you'll know who you are, like where you stand, just based off of the vibes that I give off and the amount of energy I put forth.
Yeah.
Um, like if you're an acquaintance, it's like we talk here and there, and that's it. We hang out here and there, and that's all. If you're a friend, I'll reach out every now and then. It'll be more than an acquaintance, you know. We'll see each other from time to time. We'll go to events. You know, I'll invite you to go out and stuff like that. But if you're a close friend, that's when it's like I don't have to talk to you daily. I don't have to see you daily. But anytime we talk or hang out, it's like nothing happened between like the times where we didn't see each other or talk. Um, I'll always like try to put my time and effort into doing things with them, whether or not it's hanging out, playing games, going to events, stuff like that. Hell, I'll even lose sleep just to hang out with them. And like for example, me driving up to
Yep.
pick you up and then coming back down that same day, yeah, that's something I would do, you know.
Insane.
uh,
Forever grateful.
I mean, I do crazy things for my close friends, but yeah, it's friends I normally don't call out on things just because I don't see a point, but close friends I will call out if you're doing something stupid, you know, type of things. But yeah,
How much do you weigh or really care about having a best friend?
I feel
What is
like
that to you?
at this point, I don't really care to have a best friend just because I feel like anytime I've had a best friend, something goes wrong and I end
Yeah.
up losing them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't really care for that title just because at the end of the day, to me, it's just a title. Like, I prefer close friends more, or I'll call them like my sibling, like a brother or sister type of thing. Yeah, like for example, Crystal, I call her my little sister. She's not my best friend. She's my little sister. You know, and Drew's like a brother. He's my close friend, but we're like twins. We think alike and stuff like that. You know, those are two examples.
Good examples though. Good examples. Um, I just it's funny. Yeah, little sister, twin brother, because you're alike in
Mhm.
so many ways. Now that I think about it, yeah, in so many ways.
I like how Crystal comes in.
I know it says that. Good one. Good one.
The timing.
So for you, do you think are there people that you feel like you want to get close to?
I would say at the moment, no.
Yeah.
Just because I don't want to spread myself too thin,
Yes.
you know? Like, I guess in a sense, it also depends on how the friendship goes
Hmm.
and stuff like that, and where the vibes are at, you know?
Yeah.
Like, like for example, the people that I met at raves, they're cool and not and all that and stuff like that, but I won't put in the effort to get to know them on a personal level until there's a genuine connection from then on. Like there was a girl that I met day one of Beyond. She was tired and I was tired, so we kind of just sat on the grass and we were just talking and whatnot, talking about life, and you know she's just an acquaintance, not really a friend, but she's open, then I'll open up and stuff like that, kind of thing. Yeah. But just
Mhm.
an acquaintance because I don't know her. I've only known her for a few hours. I don't consider her as a friend.
Yeah. It's a good point you make. I I always find it interesting to see where people are at in their lives right now,
Mm-hmm.
to see how open they are or what their views are when it comes to friendships. Like for example, Will, in the last episode, it was
Mm-hmm.
very interesting to hear that he's at a point where he feels like he has a solid group of friends where he doesn't necessarily need to make he doesn't need to, he doesn't feel the need to make new friends.
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't really matter to him to make new friends or to be close with more people. And then there's me who, like, I kind of feed off of like that energy of like making new friends. It's fun and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Realistically, it is hard to be close to everyone because you have to establish that connection like you said.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to you pointing that out, like making that connection, I'm very open to connecting and to like getting to know people to get closer to a lot. There's
Mm-hmm.
different sides to it. So for you, like I know it's possible to do it, but how much are you willing to like do that right now to make close friends?
Um, I feel like close friends wise, I already have a solid group of close
So
friends.
you're content in that regard.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I'm good there, but I'm always open to if everything goes well and we're connecting, then I wouldn't mind putting them as a close friend. But as of now, it's like I'm open to new friends and new acquaintances. It's just close friends wise, that's it. Just because I want to keep my circle of close friends small. Because the more close friends I have, the more I'm spreading myself out, and the more I would be stressed just because I have to figure out, okay, when can I hang out with them? When can I hang out with them? And stuff like that. Compared to, oh, I can go and hang out with them every weekend if I wanted to, type of thing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I guess it also applies. Like what matters is what people expect out of friendship too.
Mm-hmm. No, definitely.
Very similar to like the love languages, like what works
Mm-hmm.
for them.
Yeah, love languages and uh, there was something else as well. I forgot what it was called.
The attachment styles.
There we go. Attachment
Yeah.
styles. There we go. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah, because I was having a conversation with a friend of mine who lives in Seattle, and she was talking about attachment styles, and I was like, "Oh, I know about this." And then
Mhm.
we both took the test and kind of saw what our attachment styles were. Yeah.
It's very interesting, like the psychological aspects too. Thought
Mm-hmm.
processes, feelings.
Yeah, and honestly, if you learn about the attachment styles and how to deal with certain people with certain attachment styles, and if you know about yours, it really helps in both friendships and relationships.
Yeah. Do you know yours at all? Like for anything?
Yeah, I do. So everyone's attachment style, like you actually have a main one and a secondary one. So
Mhm.
my main one is secure and my secondary is avoidant, which makes a lot of sense because in the past I was an avoidant. So I would avoid any sort of conflicts or problems and kind of just, you know, try to get away from the situation or walk away. But now it's more like I'm secure enough to know that, you know, I can confront them and deal with the situation at hand before it gets blown out of proportion.
So it's more secure, what you
Yeah.
said you're at now.
hmm
Are there how many other attachment styles are there? Because I'm not like too familiar with those.
Don't quote me on this. I think there's four.
Okay.
I know there's secure, anxious, avoidant, and the last one's like a mix of both anxious and avoidant. I forgot what it was called. Oh, disorganized, I think it was called. Yeah.
Is it similar to like having your like what Michelle's talking about, your love languages where you have like a set percentage of each and then you just
Um,
decide which one's like the highest and that's like your primary and secondary and so on.
I mean, I want to say it's similar to love languages where you like take a test and stuff like that, but there's no percentage. It just basically tells you this is your primary and this is your secondary.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, because when I took it, it was like a maybe 5 to 10 minute test where it asks you certain things, and then when the results came back, there was no percentage. It just said, "This is what you are. This is your secondary, and then this is what it means." And then it also tells you, "Oh, this is how you deal with certain people, and this is how people should be dealing with you." You know.
Hmm. Okay.
Definitely helps if you guys haven't taken that test. You know, go take it. Some of them you pay for it, some of them are free. Find the free one, take it, learn about yourself.
Yes.
Same with love languages, that's important. That's why I always say I'm fluent in 7 languages: English,
Nice.
Mandarin, and the 5 love languages.
Let's lead into that, like love languages and talking about significant others and partners. What is it? 1 through 5, your love languages.
I only know 1 and 2. The other 3 are kind of, I don't remember it.
Yeah.
But my top one is quality time, and my second is physical touch. And
I
I know
always hear
most
that. Like I hear those two as like the top
mhm.
two very like it's very common.
It's more common in males to have physical touch as their like top one and then quality time as their secondary.
Mhm.
It's, I guess, the second next most common would be like what I said, where it's switched. It's kind of rare to see a male have like acts of service or quality acts of service, gift giving, and what
Words.
was words of affirmation as like their top. Um, And I do know that one thing that people should keep in mind is that even though you see like what your love languages are, you need to understand what the opposite of it would be. Because that's basically based off
True.
of how you grew up, and that's why
Yeah.
you have a certain love language, you know? And it makes sense, you know, for those that don't really get a lot of recognition from the people around you. Words of affirmation would probably make sense. Yeah.
Yes. Jory's here.
Hi, Jory.
Welcome in, guys. Appreciate you guys for being here. Jory, I hope you had fun at Beyond, by the way. It was great seeing you again finally after like half a year.
He's the one that I gave the hollow perler to.
Wait, what? The split face one or?
Yeah, so I made another one. So this is the one that I have.
Oh, yeah. You
So I
showed
made a
me.
second one.
Yeah.
And I basically told people whoever vibes
Vibes with
me
you. Yes, you told me that.
would get it. And Jory and I were just arm in arm singing, and I was like, "This is
Uh,
yours." I love you too, Jory.
I love do your thing, do your thing. Well, hold on, we're getting close. We'll talk about beyond and all that good stuff. Okay, so
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
those love languages, you're right on about that. You have to know both ends of what you give and receive.
Yep.
Okay, so kind of funny question.
hmm
Do you have spoken and unspoken? Let's give yourself a grading for that. 1 through 10. 10 being the like Riz. High Riz.
I feel like I have more unspoken Riz than Riz.
Yeah.
Like like than spoken Riz. Just cause something that I've noticed recently is that I've been attracting a lot more people
Mm-hmm.
without me saying anything. Like, for example, when I went to William Black at his LA show, I went by myself and I was at the rails before the show even started. I was just chilling there waiting. I noticed that there was a group of 3 girls to my right, and they were probably like 2 people down from my right, and one of them ended up walking behind me and stood there for a good maybe 5-10 minutes before coming up to me to talk to me.
Okay, okay.
And we kind of hit it off and stuff like that. We were headbanging, and then Gary found me, so we were at the rails and stuff like that. So
Wait, so Gary saw?
Gary knows who,
Ooh.
like, Gary saw the whole interaction. You know, if he's still here, he can. I'll let him tell everyone what it is and stuff like that. But I didn't even do anything. I just stood there with my hydro pack. And it's funny because then the first thing that she noticed was the perler. It was a plur card perler that I made.
Oh, the plur
She,
card, yeah.
yeah, so she noticed that and she was like, "Oh, I saw that, I liked it, and I knew you were a nice guy and stuff like that." And so I was like, "Okay, cool." When we started talking, I gave her a boba plushie that it was like a little keychain. I gave it to her and stuff like that, and we hit it off. But yeah, other times was beyond. It was just interesting because I'll get into that later.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
but
you're grading for yourself.
I want to say 8.5 out of 10 for unspoken.
Uh-huh.
Spoken Riz, probably like a 7.5.
Yeah.
Just because I do have a flirty personality.
Oh, you think so?
Oh no, I don't think so. I know so.
Talk about that. That's interesting to me. How do you have a flirty personality?
There are times I say something and it's like they'll take it like I'm flirting with them.
Yeah.
Or like other times where if I just stick around a certain person, they think that I'm trying to get at them, which has happened multiple times. And one of them was at a rave where I stuck with this girl, but I wasn't trying to make moves. I was making sure she's okay because I noticed that she was going through something during Dab the Sky. I was checking up on her, making sure she was okay and stuff like that. If you're trying to think of who it is, I
Yeah.
can tell you later on off the side.
Third letter in the name.
I'll just message you.
Okay. Okay. I have a good idea of who it is. Oh yeah, that's
Yeah. So she was going through something. I checked up on her and stuff like that.
People
And
thought.
yeah, people thought I was trying to get at her. In my
Like,
mind, I'm like, she's too young.
wait, how did they
I,
tell you? Or how'd
I
you
heard
hear?
about it from someone else. So it was a
Oh.
person that was in the group. We kind of talked on Instagram, and she was like, "Oh yeah, people thought you were trying to hit on her." And I was like, "No, I was just there making sure she's okay because she was going through something." And then she also said that like people thought that um this is gonna be really hard to. Okay, so we'll call the person that was taking care of. Give me a girl name, a random girl name.
Just use letters.
Okay.
Use letters like A or something.
Okay. Person A is the person I was checking up on. Person B
Yes.
is the person that I was talking to. So person B told me that um there were people thought that person B and some other guy had a thing.
Okay.
And so I was like, it kind of looked like it because then you guys were like you guys had matching Sullivan King jersey. She's like, oh no 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 no, and then we kind of like cleared out the rumors and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
rumors are rumors at the end of the day. But yeah, yeah, all that happened. So I was like, nope, I'm here to take care of people, checking up on them, making sure they're good. Because I can tell when someone's going through something. As like a people watcher, you kind of like learn how to like tell, you know. So I'm like, you good? Okay. You need water? Good. Like I did the same thing at Beyond, day one when I got lost with someone. We'll get into that later on.
Okay. But you cleared it up, the story and everything.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I cleared it up with I know I told Saber about this. I cleared it up with him, and I'm pretty sure he knew I wasn't trying to do anything anyway.
yeah. Hmm.
Or at least I hope so. But yeah, so that was cleared up with friend B. Um, friend A was like, whenever I would join Discord call and she's in there, she would like tell her friends, "Oh yeah, this person was checking up on me and whatnot, making sure I was okay
Yeah.
and stuff like that." So, you know, yeah.
Okay. Um, have you been in the friend zone? And if so, have you gotten out of it?
Yes, and once.
How'd that happen?
So I don't know which one should I start off with. Being in the friend zone
Yeah, yeah.
stories. Okay. So I've been in the friend zone multiple times, and there are times where I'm like, yeah, I think I'm good. I'd rather just be friends with you. Um, most of the time it happened in high school and maybe a few times in college. Like my friend in Seattle, I met her in 2014, no, 2013 on Tumblr,
Yes.
and we hit it off, and I told her I liked her, and she rejected me. I was like, that's fine. But we're still friends. We still talk. We talk about relationships, dating, everyday life type of thing, stuff like that. Even raving. Um, but I don't take rejection too hard. I used to. It used to hurt, but now it's like rejection is rejection. If I fail, time to learn what I did wrong and do better. The only time I got out of the friend zone was my most recent relationship. So I got friend zoned instantly because she she knew that I liked her, but during that time I didn't want to say anything because I wanted to make sure it wasn't the pre-workout talking, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to say anything, but she knew. And she was like, "Oh, I'd rather just be friends with you." And I said, "Yeah, that's fine. I'll be friends with you." And I guess that caught her off guard because she's so used to friend zoning guys and guys just dropping her that she was like, "Wait a minute." And then we still kept talking and we were on Discord call, and then yeah, we started flirting with each other, and I caught on that she did have feelings, so that's how we became a thing. Yeah.
Friend zone story. Okay.
Yeah, guys, or girls, both y'all, if you guys are in the friend zone, there's still hope. Just don't get your hopes up too much. Just know that there's a sliver chance.
Okay.
Just be yourself. Yeah, that's all it is.
So on the opposite end, though, you really don't like someone. Has this happened where you actually shut them down and still became close friends or like good friends?
There. I wouldn't say we were close friends. We were still friends. This is gonna sound so bad. Okay, so this girl was friends of mine because of my second ex, because she's friends with my ex, and I knew she liked me, but during that time I was fresh out of breakup and I just kind of wanted to fuck around. So I fucked around with her, I kissed her and did a few things, but didn't go all the way. But I basically turned her down because during that time my morals was like I wouldn't do anything sexual if I wasn't in a relationship, and it just, I don't know, I felt dirty. So I shut her down. But like we still talked a bit and we kind of grew apart just cuz, I graduated and stuff like that. But I did bump into her at Anime Expo one year. I think it was like 2017 or 18. I was like,
Oh.
"Hey, what's up?" And it wasn't awkward or anything,
Yeah.
But that was pretty much it. Yeah. That was the only time. Other than that, it's like I didn't really say anything to turn them down. It was just more of my actions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on right person, wrong time?
I don't believe there is a right person at the wrong time, to be honest. Like people come into your life for a reason. And so it's always the right person at the right time. Whether or not they're there to be with you for the long run or if they're there to teach you a lesson. So, like, for people going through breakups or have been through breakups, the thing that I want to, like, piece of advice that I want to give to you guys is look into everything that happened during the relationship and see what issue came up that caused the falling out. And then from there, learn from the mistakes and better yourself. And make sure that you're not bringing in emotional baggage to the next relationship. And I had to learn that the hard way because I brought a lot of emotional baggage
Yeah.
to my ex-fiance and she did not like that. And it wasn't until my ex-fiance and I broke up that I started to kind of recount all the things that I've done, both good and bad. And then I was like, I was a shitty person. And so from then on, I started bettering myself. And, I'm not going to say like I'm perfect, but I know that I have my toxic ways still. But it also is like, what can I do to become better every day? You know? Yeah.
So you said you don't really believe in the right person, wrong time. How about the one that got away then?
The one that got away? Hmm. My view on that is if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. It's straight and simple. There's a reason why you didn't get with them or they didn't get with you.
Or just didn't last.
Yeah, or just didn't last. And like I said, it does hurt knowing that you could have been with them, but at the same time, there's a good reason why you weren't with them in the first place. Plain and simple, you know. If you have that mindset, everything in life is much more stress free, in my opinion. Because if you're constantly stressing about, like, oh, person and we could have been together, but she didn't want to or he didn't want to, you're just gonna look like a sad boy or sad girl the entire time. And if you exert that type of energy, then you're less than likely going to find someone. You're not going to really attract someone that's going to be there for, who you really are, because your energy is just, I'm sad because I'm lonely.
Yeah.
Or something like that, Just be happy go lucky, do whatever you need to do, better yourself, and who knows? When the right one comes, they'll be there. Just be ready for it. And if it doesn't and it's just another fling, so be it. Have your fun. God, that sounded so weird.
No, you're fine, man. You're fine.
I literally sound like a dad talking to their children about
giving
dating.
these like life lessons on dating and stuff, but it's real. You literally experienced it, and that's why it's great to hear your perspective.
Pretty much.
Because like not everyone thinks the same way, and even if they do, they might say different things. So it's just very unique. Okay, as of now, what would you say is your type, like your ideal type, appearance wise or even personality characteristics?
Oh god. I would say my type is more of like the cute girl type of vibe, not ABG. Like, don't get me wrong, ABGs, they're eye candy, but they may look good, but their personality might be 180. When it comes to cute girls, I guess in a sense it's like something in my heart just melts, I guess, in a sense. Like,
how do you describe, like, what is it, like, cute?
Cute girl.
like ooh? Like ooh cute?
Okay, ooh cute is too cute to the point where it's cringy.
Got it.
I'm thinking of like, I guess in a sense the best way to describe it would be like Chaewon.
Okay.
Chaewon is cute, okay? So like Chaewon, or like the actress from My Demon. Like, they're cute.
Okay, I wouldn't say my type, because two is saying that we have the same type, but I don't think she's my type. But I could agree that she's cute or attractive. So for you, like you say cute, and that's more so your type.
Yeah.
So I want you to also add on your thoughts about like what you consider as, let's say, pretty or like sexy, you know, stuff like that.
Okay.
Categorize.
I think pretty is when a girl knows how to dress.
Mm,
Like she's dressing to impress. You know, like in my terms, cute is like, oh, I'm in a pleated skirt type of thing. Um, pretty is like I'm in an elegant dress. uh, no, not schoolgirl. Stop. That. Um, sexy though. I would say like, hmm. I guess in a sense, like you look like a baddie.
yeah.
Like girls that ride motorcycles. That's sexy. That oof. Or like girls that know how to play the drums. To me, that's sexy. Like it has nothing to do with like how their body shape is and whatnot. Yeah. Um. But yeah. But I mean, to me, most importantly, it's personality that counts. Yeah.
What kind of personality are you looking for?
Um. Someone mature and someone that's understanding. Uh, they know the difference between fun and serious when it comes down to it. And someone that's just down to earth, you know. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah.
So when it comes to their lifestyle and interests, do they have to like does it have to align with yours?
I mean, in all honesty, I feel like when it comes to lifestyle and interest, it doesn't have to 100% line up.
Yeah.
As long as we have a few things in common, that's fine. Because I definitely would want to have a partner that has their own things going on
Hmm.
instead of constantly putting me first, on the priority list. Because for me, right now, my priority is myself, then it comes friends and family, then career. But if her priorities are, me first, then that's going to be an issue because I'm the type where I don't like it when a girl's extremely clingy. Like a little bit is fine. But if it's like, hey, what are you doing constantly or like, hey, I want to see you, I want to do this, I want to do that, and it puts me in a position where I'm sacrificing my time, my energy, my sleep to do things, then that's where I'm like, I can't do this. And does she gotta be a raver? I mean, if she's a raver, then that means I can't quote unquote retire.
And if she isn't, then you could convert her.
That is true, but at the same
Yeah,
time, I would like to slow down as
uh-huh,
well.
uh-huh. True. No, you
But
definitely gotta slow down.
yeah, unless if someone's able to convince me to go to events, I'm looking at you.
Yeah.
Then yeah, but other than that, it's like a few things in common, cool. If it's 100% things in common, then that's where I'm like, this is it might work out, it might not,
Mm.
just because I feel like if you have too much things in common with your significant other, things might run dry real quick. Whereas if if you guys have things that are like complete opposite of each other, you both can learn something from each other.
Yeah. That's a good one. Would you date someone taller than you?
I mean, why not? It shouldn't really matter. Height shouldn't, in my opinion, height should not be the main thing you look for in a person.
So 6'5".
Like, yeah, okay, if she's 6'5", that's gonna be an issue. If it's like a few inches taller, sure. But if it's 6'5", that's gonna be like Shaq and his wife, you know, the height difference. Or like Jason Chen and his girlfriend. Or no, fiance now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I feel like Jason Chen and his fiance isn't like there's not really that much of a height difference. So that's fine. But I do prefer someone shorter. I would say like around 5'2" to 5'6" is the perfect height for me.
Ideal. Yeah, ideal.
Yeah, because this is gonna sound a little cringe or a little cheesy, but
But
if they're shorter than me and their forehead is right where my mouth is, I can just give her forehead kisses anytime. I see you cringing. I see you cringing.
I'm not cringing. I'm not cringing. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. Wholesome answer. What? I'm serious. I'll tell you my cringe. I'll say it's cringe. All right.
Okay.
All right. So that's dating preferences. How about age? You didn't say age, right?
Oh God. Okay. I feel like age. I wouldn't mind dating up 2 years. 2 to 3 years is fine. But dating down is where the issue comes in, because my preference is 5 years younger. That's the limit. But Crystal, what the fuck are you saying?
Okay, Crystal.
Crystal,
What is Crystal on about?
I don't
Oh,
know.
man. Okay. Threw me off too.
Yes, you are wrong. That's crazy. Oh, okay. Actually, I think I know what she's getting at. Let's not talk about it, Crystal. That's a K-pop group. That doesn't count. The only issue right now is that I'm talking to someone that's slightly outside of my age range.
You're talking to someone?
Yes.
Bruh, I should have led with that. Holy. Had no
I
idea.
mean, no, Jacob. Why are Jacob, stop. No, not new jeans.
Not new jeans and not a minor.
Look at my wallpaper. Let's not talk about it, okay, Crystal? My wallpaper, she is a K-pop idol that is of age already. Stop. Okay? Stop. Yeah, I'm talking to a girl. I've talked to you about her before.
Oh, wait. What, which?
Which one?
No, it has to be from a few months ago, right?
When was the Okay, I'm just gonna say this. When was the day I disappeared for half the night and came back and you were like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was that night, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. One we were
Yeah.
talking about.
Even Gary knows that I'm getting exposed.
I didn't know you guys were talking. That's the thing.
Yeah, we've been talking. That's why the tweet the other day ago, I think it was like last night or 2 nights ago, that tweet.
So, out of your age range,
Yeah, so I said
you said
5
5.
years younger
Yeah.
is the limit, or like where the bar is.
Hmm.
But she's 8 years younger than me.
She's like mature to you.
Yeah, I would say she's young, like she's mature and she knows how to have fun, but at the same time, she knows when to get shit done.
Yeah. Oh god, Jacob. Okay, Jacob.
What the fuck? Huh?
Just it's okay.
32?
Disregard.
Wait, what? I'm so confused with you right now. Jacob, are you high?
Like you might know the answer to that. So, anyways, you don't have to like say too much about her, but it'd be interesting to know like what about her appealing to you. What makes you interested?
It's her crackhead energy, to be honest. So when I met her for the first time, she was drinking at the event, and she was just in a whole different world.
Yeah.
But the one thing that threw me off, which to me I found very attractive, was the fact that she's aggressive. She would grab me after like turning around to look for me, because like I would let her vibe with her friends and whatnot, and then she would turn around, find me, pull me, whether it's by my arm or by my pashmina. And to me, I find that very attractive because I was like, oh, you know. No, I am not submissive, okay? I'm not submissive. But yeah, it's her energy and the vibes that she gave off that really caught my attention. And in all honesty, the way we met was very interesting because it was the day before she went to the event. So it was a 2-day event. I went to day 1. And while in line waiting for merch, she hits me up with, "Are you going to this event?" And I said, "Yes, I'm here and I'm going to day 2."
Yeah.
And then we started talking, and then I was like, "Oh, I have floor." And she's like, "I also have floor." So I was like, "Let's meet up." "Oh, I have a perler for you." And yeah, we met up. And to be honest, I almost gave up trying to find her just because it was after the first set I did not find her. And I was like, nope. And that's why I went back to you guys. And then the second set was over. I was like, I'm off to find her now. Toodles.
Glad you did though, because you came back really happy. Like you had a good ass time. I still remember exactly what you said. But we don't have to expose you.
I said this. I said shh.
Yeah, that's exactly what you said.
Yeah. And the only person that's met her in chat, I don't know if he's still in here or not, is Saber. Saber's met her. That was when we went to William Black in SD.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, he compared her to Yadira. And I'm like, she kind of does give similar vibes. But yeah. Oh, there's Saber.
But he said it in like the aspects of like talkative, right?
Saber. What?
Right.
What? I'm gonna ask him this, Saber. What makes her similar to Yadira? And you know who I'm talking about. If he responds, though.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's in game right now or whatnot, but yeah. But I kind of see it like it's. I think it's the yapping part.
That's what I was expecting.
Yappers.
Yeah.
They're yappers. Yeah. But she did tell me that she's an introvert, and the only time she yaps is when she's drinking. And she's an alcoholic. Well, I call her an alcoholic because she drinks a lot. Yeah.
And she outdrink you?
Most definitely.
Okay.
Like, come on, half a bottle of soju and I'm gone. She's drinking Borgs and other like hard liquor, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm good. Like, she was supposed to go to Beyond, but then she didn't sleep. She went to work and then she passed out.
Oh,
And she
okay.
was like, before all that, she was like, "Oh, I'll have some snacks. Do you want a Borg?" And I was like, "Oh, hell no. Don't make me one." And when she's a passenger princess, she yaps and oh yeah, yeah, she's also a passenger princess.
Not a problem for you.
It really isn't. Like you were my passenger princess.
Yeah, she's keeping it warm for me. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Anyways,
She's warming up the seat for you, yeah. But yeah,
so yeah, what do you did you answer this already? Like, what you like the most about her?
her crackhead energy.
Oh, okay, okay, the crackhead energy part.
Hmm.
Got it.
Yeah, and she's also a rave baby. Um,
Brave baby.
yeah, because her first event was that event.
No,
Yeah.
that was the first event, and that was such a vibe for you.
Mm-hmm.
Holy.
Exactly.
Oh, she's
And
gonna be a crazy rave veteran then.
imagine first event, and you also get a rave bay at that event.
Hmm.
Crazy.
Jeez.
Yeah, and like Saber said, she's cool and she's funny.
Okay, so you're talking, but like, are you guys exclusive?
I wouldn't say we're exclusive, just cause yeah,
So,
you know,
so
we're just
technically,
talking.
if you guys could talk to other people.
Yeah, pretty much.
Got it.
I mean, I was talking to multiple people at the same time, so yeah.
For sure, for sure.
What?
As of now, yeah, yeah. So you're technically still on the market.
Yeah, pretty much. And I don't know what Saber. Why is Saber telling me to shut the fuck up? Oh no, he's telling
Phantom,
Gary to
Phantom,
shut the fuck
Phantom.
up. Never mind.
So what are as of now like what are additional red flags you can think of or deal breakers for
Ooh,
you when it comes to relationships?
a deal breaker. The major one is overly clingy. I
Okay,
cannot deal with
overly,
that.
yeah.
Um, Another one is like not being communicative. But at the same time, there's a difference between communication and understanding, like comprehension. Because it's one thing to communicate, it's another if you can't comprehend what's being said. So I feel like they both go hand in hand in terms of like red flags for me. Because if you can communicate but you won't understand what I'm saying, that's an
Hmm.
issue, and vice versa. And if you can't do both things, then see ya. Um, People that beat around the bush bothers me. So like, let's say you like me, but you're beating around the bush and playing games. I'm not gonna stick around. I will just dip, even if I know you like me. Like I'll be like, nope, not my type of energy.
Not trying to waste
Um,
time.
yeah, exactly. Because I'm turning 30. I'm not trying to fuck around. You know, I want to find the person that I'm willing to spend the rest of my life with. Not trying to date around, have one night stands and flings until like I'm 40, 50. Not trying to do that.
Yeah.
Um, Another one is like if you're immature about things. Like if you're immature, I don't want that because it's like as if I'm a dad taking care of a kid. I'm not trying to be a father.
Hmm.
I'm trying to be a husband. There's a difference.
Yeah.
Why? Why,
Cool,
Crystal?
cool. For red flags, deal breakers. What would you say is your ideal date? At least a first date.
I feel like the perfect first date would be at a cafe. Just because you it cafe dates or like boba shop dates are quick and simple. you figure out if you guys, vibe with each other, if you guys have a connection. If not, grab your drink and just be like, hey, thank you for the date. It's not it. I'm out.
Mm.
It's better than going to a restaurant and be like, hey, we have to sit through this dinner. And, if you're not into it and you just have to sit there and eat, that's why I think cafe dates are the best first dates. And then second date can be like a dinner, but never do a movie date until maybe I say fifth date, like the fifth date on. Because like movie dates, you're just sitting there watching a movie, you're not really talking.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do other things, but what are the odds of that happening,
Yeah. Dating destination red flags for the first dates.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so for those of you guys that are single, going on dates, coffee shop or boba dates, best one.
Yeah, write it down, guys. Write it down.
If you don't like the vibes, just dip. Because you're just grabbing a drink, and that's it. If you like it, go ahead and prolong the date. Go maybe like go down a shopping district or to the beach, stuff like that. Yeah. Netflix and chill dates. No, that's a one night stand.
All right, let's talk about how you're doing right now mentally. What do you think?
Mentally, I want to say I'm okay.
Yeah.
But I know I'm stressed. And one thing that I came to realize recently is that there's a possibility of me having this thing called high functioning depression. So basically, it's like moments where you're depressed, but then you're still capable of doing everyday things and not having like the depression like deter you from going to work, hanging out with friends, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are days where I feel sad and emotional for no reason at all, but I'm still capable of, still going to work, still cooking, cleaning, and everything. So, yeah, but like, I would say I'm hanging in there. Like, there's nothing too much for me to be like, oh, I want to disappear,
Yeah. What do you think needs to change for things to be better for you then? Mentally?
Um, I mean, for one, things are starting to get better. Family life is better. Friendship wise, it's a little rocky here and there with a few people, but I feel like once everything is situated, I'm more at peace. And then, just finance issues and stuff like that. But yeah, that's basically the gist of it for me. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not too bad. I do have the mindset of it is what it is, and it be like that sometimes, and it helps me get through everything. But when those days come where I feel emotional, that's when it's like, what am I doing? I need a mental reset. And normally, when I need a mental reset, I go hang out with Drew, and we have a little bit of fun. Yeah, that's the mental reset.
Mm. So, despite doing like a lot of things, going out, working, just like having something to look forward to, how
Mhm.
often would you say, like, do you still feel alone?
In all honesty, I don't feel lonely at all. Like,
Uh,
even if I'm just by myself,
yeah.
there's never been a time as of like recent that I've felt alone. But that's probably because I value my alone time as well.
Mm.
Like, there were times where I go over to Drew and Delena's house and they would do their own thing. I'm just downstairs doing my own thing. I feel fine, you know. I'm not alone. They don't need to entertain me. They don't need to check up on me and stuff like that. Um, like even if I'm left out of things, I don't feel alone because I find things to do. You know, something that can not necessarily distract me from doing anything, but more of like something that I can do that I enjoy. You know, whether it's playing games, listening to music, watching videos, or just chatting it up with people, you know? Because, like, if you feel alone, you would want to reach out to people, and sometimes they're busy. So, yeah.
So, how often do you find yourself comparing yourself? You ever do that?
I used to do that a lot. But nowadays I don't compare myself to anyone just because everyone's different. You know, everyone has their own life that they, you know, experiences they went through to get them to where they are today. And if I'm to compare myself to them, sometimes they have it worse, sometimes they have it better. And it doesn't make sense for me to compare myself because our experiences are different. You know, some people work harder than others to get to where they are today. Some people they might just, you know, be lucky to be where they're at. So that's why I stopped comparing myself to the people around me.
Oh, that's good that you don't.
Hmm.
As of now, what would you say are your short-term and long-term goals then?
I would say short-term goals is to basically help stabilize the family with whatever needs to be done. Um, it may take a few years, it may take longer than that, but at the same time, you know, it's definitely a priority of mine. Um, other short-term goals is like fixing issues that have come up, whether or not it's me going like reaching out to fix it or if it's them reaching out to me. Long-term goal wise, I would say moving out. Um, maybe possibly getting a new car once this car is paid off. Um, perhaps starting a family
Wow.
if that happens. But yeah. And then possibly maybe returning to the event scene. Maybe.
Who
I'm
knows? Who
not.
knows?
It, you know, I'm not saying it's definitely gonna happen, but maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. This is gonna be a good one. I feel like
Mm.
you got something for this. What is a quote that you live by? Or like a quote that's special to you?
I think I have. There's one that stuck to me since high school, and it's basically nothing starts till you take action. That sticks by me, just because it is true. Like,
Yeah.
not nothing will happen unless if you do something about it. Um, another one that's not really a quote is just, you know, it's basically my life mantra right now. It is what it is. It be like that sometimes, and it helps me get through difficult times. Because like you can't control something that's not within your power. So why even bother, you know, trying to stress about it?
Love those. Those are just some quotes. And now we will wrap things up with the good old Raven EDM talk. Uh, yeah, I'm sure there's a lot to dive into, but these are the specific topics I want to talk about.
Mhm.
How have you evolved and changed as a raver since we started together? So we started together at the end of 2021.
Mhm.
Yeah. Talk about that.
Um, so before we started raving together, my first rave was a drive-in rave that my brother forcefully took me to. Um, and the reason why I say forcefully was because before I started raving, I was very against it just because I knew there was a lot of substances and like other things. And
Yeah.
not only that, I didn't enjoy the music, but little did I know I ended up liking certain music just because I used to listen to certain things. Um, I'll get into that in a little bit, but when I first went to my first event, which was Arm& and Hammer, I was clueless of what to do. I kind of stood there like a brick. I stood there like I don't know what to do, and nobody taught me anything. Not even my brother. He was off in his own world because he took pre-workout, and I was like, this is weird. But then my second event was Porter at the historical park, which is the same venue that Lost in Dream is going to be at. That was nice, but I didn't really vibe with Jai Wolf.
Mhm.
So I was like, his music is mid. But when Porter played, that's when I was like, Porter! It's because I listened to him when I was younger and stuff like that. Um, but it's kind of funny because then I was introduced to EDM in high school without really knowing it was EDM. I just knew it was dubstep. I didn't know dubstep was part of EDM.
Yeah, I didn't know the specifics of that terminology.
Yeah, so my high school friends during that time, they showed me Skrillex and Dead
Yeah, nice.
And it's even funnier because then during high school, I would listen to a lot of metal bands, and one of them, they're called Icy Stars. They had an album that was basically an EDM remix of their songs, and I really liked it. It wasn't entirely like dubstep. I don't know what genre that would be considered, but it was still metal with electronic taste. Um, but I think it wasn't until Countdown in 2021 when I started to open up and kind of learn through experience how the rave scene is, and hold on, I'm just gonna pause right here because why the hell am I marrying two people right now?
Just getting targeted.
For real. Okay, so yeah, it was Countdown where I started to feel more accepted instead of judged. Because during that time, my brother's group of friends were very closed off and judgmental, and they weren't really accepting of me as a new raver. We were raving with you, Vinny, TJ, Ryan, I forgot who else, like a few others. That's when I felt more at ease and more open, and like that's when I started dancing more.
Yeah, it was like your own group type thing too.
Yeah, pretty much. And from then on, it was just downhill from there, going to more events and breaking my back and neck
Mhm.
every event. Yeah. And then, learning how to make perlers, making candy, and then eventually, buying trinkets to give out to people.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, I didn't know what plur was, but I was still very plur just because I'm the type to take care of people. So I didn't know what it was, but I knew what to do. And then I learned from other people, like, oh, sometimes you can do this, sometimes you can do that, and then that's when I would say that's when I became more of a rave dad, just because I enjoy taking care of people that are messed up
Yeah.
in a good way, not like yeah,
Just like looking out for people.
yeah, pretty much like strangers or just friends in the group, you know.
Yeah.
Because like at Escape last year at William Black, remember how our group got split up? It was just you, Giles, and I.
Oh yeah, and then you split from us to take care of someone.
Yeah, so there was
Yeah.
a group right in front of me. I think it was like a couple that was floored, but their group didn't form a complete circle. So I was
Mhm.
like, okay, let me just finish that circle, fan them, and that was when it hit me, and I was like, don't floor, don't floor. And thank God I didn't, and I came back to you after. Yeah,
So
good memories.
you started off as like a straggler and became a rave dad.
Yeah, pretty much,
Evolution right
pretty
there.
much. Yeah, call me a Pokemon. You know, you can see the basic form all the way to the final evolution.
Yeah. That's the final evolution.
No,
Dang, that means when I become a rave dad, it's game over, guys. That's how you know I'm almost done
I mean,
for my stages.
I can see that, to be honest. But I mean, you do check up on people in the group
Yeah, yeah,
anyway, so
yeah.
you're almost at rate that stage.
Mhm, mhm. Got the tendencies.
Hmm.
All right. What's as of now? What's your favorite artist, genre, and song?
Oh, I can't pinpoint my favorite, like one favorite artist.
Yeah.
I can pinpoint my favorite artists. So it would be Excision, Kaiwachi, Wooly, Dabin, Slander, Millennium, Keizo,
Nice.
um, Crank That. Can't think of anyone else at the moment, but there is a lot more. Um, I would say my favorite genre would be dubstep and melodic.
Mhm.
No, just because I like breaking my body to dubstep and melodic bass. You know, the lyrics hit hard. Sometimes they hit
Yes.
home.
Yes.
Um,
Favorite song?
Favorite song? You mean at the moment?
Yeah. Let's say at the moment then.
At the moment, it would be Kaiwachi's "Happier by Now."
Ooh.
But last year, everyone knows it's Hollow.
Yeah. Yeah.
my my 2023 national anthem. Um, Man, it's kind of funny because then I like Kaiwatch. No, I like Keizo just because my brother showed me Keizo, and he did a collab with one of my favorite bands that I used to listen to. The band is called Bless the Fall, so they did a collab, and I was like, no way. Yeah, that's when it.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, I have to see Keizo, and seeing Keizo at Countdown was pretty lit. And you saw me screaming to the lyrics of one of the songs.
Okay, I'm gonna do like a this. It's called this or that, like little mini segment right here. You
Okay.
just choose one or the other.
Okay.
All right, hollow or happier by now.
Happier by now.
Oof.
Yeah.
Love is gone or first time.
I want to say it depends on the situation. If I'm with a rave bae first time, if not, love is gone. But
Okay.
right now, it would be love is gone just because I cried to it 3 times.
All right, and the last one. Choose between the three: Starbright, Alive, or Worlds Away.
Alive.
Ah,
That's literally the song that will get me to cry.
Love that.
like like I'm not gonna lie, driving down from the Bay 2 weeks ago, I was listening to a live and I cried in the car. Thank God Crystal was not awake for that, but I cried.
Yeah.
But then again, it's also because it resonates with me, just
Mhm.
because I don't want to get too deep in it, but in the past I had dark thoughts, and I'm just glad that I didn't go through with it. Let's go with that.
Okay, talk about what you like between being solo and going with a group.
Ooh.
Like, just do the pros and cons for each of them then, personally.
So going with a group is fun because you have people that you trust, and let's say you take pre-workout and you need someone to take care of you, you can trust that they're there for you. Um, Not only that, like going with the group, you can vibe well with everyone in the group. You sing, dance, do whatever, whatever you want, and it's nice. But the cons is that sometimes there are certain people in the group that are judgmental, and they'll see you as for someone that you're not. Like for example, people thinking that I'm going to raves to basically look for rave bays, or like me trying to get at a girl. That's
Okay.
not really true. I'm there for the music, I'm there for the vibes. The only time I'll shoot my shot is if I see that there's some sort of connection, then I'll shoot my shot. If not, then I don't.
Yeah.
Or if I'm not feeling like, if I don't feel like I want a rave bay, I'll completely ignore it. And
Mhm.
that's what I did at Beyond. Um Going solo is nice because you don't have any like expectations. You don't have a set schedule where it's like, oh, you have to be here at this set, you have to be here at this time
Yeah.
to meet up.
Real.
You can do whatever you want. You can just run off, get lost, meet new people. And that's what I like doing as of recent, because at William Black I met a few cool people and whatnot. You like both LA and SD show. Um, for Beyond, I went off from you guys, and it was nice. I met random people. I gave them a sprout and a little duck, and in return, I got some really funny things. Like one of them was the little hand thing that you had day two.
Yeah. Someone
I
gave
gave
me that. Bro, I have
Yeah.
that. I have it.
Funny enough, that's my second one because I got one. I got one at Apocalypse, and then I got one at Beyond.
Uh-huh.
Um, a few other things was like I gave a tiny duck and I received a bigger rubber ducky. But the cute thing is that guy put glasses on it. Like you can take the glasses off, but he gave me that and I was like, "Oh my god, this is cute." The one thing that threw me off was someone giving me a tangerine.
Oh, what?
They just pulled out a tangerine and I was like, "Thank
It's
you." Like I
cool.
don't know, but yeah, that was fun and stuff like that. I I did eventually meet up with two different groups day one. So day one was the group of ravers that I met through Yuzu
Yeah.
and Rave Haven, but I did lose both of them until maybe an hour later.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I found the Yuzu group with the girl that I was with, and then day two I was with Rave Haven the entire time, just because they were going to the same sets that I was going to, so I was like, why not? But I
Yeah.
still met with a lot of people, and it was fun. Downside of going solo though is if you do plan on doing pre-workout, um, just keep in mind that if you're solo, there's a higher chance of you getting targeted by certain people just because you're more vulnerable. And if you do floor, there's a chance people will take care of you, but it's less than likely. Like if you find a group of nice people that's around you, they'll take care of you, check up on you. But if you're around, like, let's say frat boys, you know, I'm sorry to put it this way, but frat boys at raves are the worst because they don't give two shits about anyone but themselves. But yeah, if you're around frat boys, they will not take care of you. They might end up stepping on you or trampling you. So just be aware of that. But yeah, I honestly think going solo is really fun if you're up to that challenge. It's not for everyone though, just because it's very situational. If you know how to handle yourself, you'll be fine. If not, don't do it. You're not ready.
Good, solid advice. That's a nice perspective since I know you've been soloing here and there. I'm glad it's been fun for you though. Plus, you get to like bump into people that you probably wouldn't expect to bump into sometimes without the need to like wait for others.
Yeah, exactly.
How's your journey been with like from kind of going from taking pre-workouts and not taking workout?
So taking a break from not taking it, it's been nice, but in all honesty, I had to take it day 2 of Beyond, but I didn't take the normal amount that I would normally take.
Yeah.
Just because I needed something to basically help me ease the pain away. Because I know
So you were
my
feeling it, yeah.
legs were hurting. Yeah, my legs were hurting, my neck was hurting, my back was hurting from day 1. And it was not it. So I had to take something. And so I think I took 1/3 of pre-workout and it helped. But the downside from taking that long of a break is that if I were to take the normal amount, like let's say I took the normal amount that I would at day 2, I probably would have been on the floor.
Yeah.
So that's just like something I would have to keep in mind for EDC, just because I do know I'm going to be taking it. That's kind of like the one thing, like I'll bring it back to when I said like I'm a man of my word, but if I break that like promise, there's a good reason, and that's my reason because my body was breaking.
Yeah.
You know, because I thought I would be okay with going sober for a 2-day festival, but no, day 1 broke me just because I went too hard. But then again, dubstep does that to me. You know, go big or go home, and I said, "Fuck it, let's go ham," and broke my back and my neck at Ghastly.
Nice. Was that your favorite set?
Day 1, I would say it's Crank That and Ghastly were my favorite. Sullivan King was really good too, but the fact that I was able to finally see Ghastly perform Falling Apart, like his remix of Sullivan King's Falling Apart, that was so nice. And it's funny because I almost left before he played it, and then I heard it and I was like, I told her name is Anna. I told Anna, hey, can we stay for this song? And she was like, okay. I was like, thank God. So I did record it, and it was cool. It's just that he kind of started a mosh pit before the first drop, and it took him maybe 20 seconds to form it. And I was like, bro, I'm waiting for the drop. But yeah.
As of now, what's your thought process of like how long you want to rave for? So the longevity of it and just like actual retirement.
I feel like I'm actually going to be retiring the same time Drew retires. So we're thinking the last rave, or they say their last rave is gonna be Tomorrowland, but in all honesty, I think I would want to retire after. Oh no, not Drew Spacito. I mean Pika Drew. Um, I would say my last rave would probably be Lost Lands. Even though I do want to go to the Gorge once, and oh, there's actually multiple events I want to go to before I retire.
Yeah.
So Lost Lands is one, Base Canyon, Ultra, any event at the Gorge. I would say Ultra Miami and then maybe Ultra Taiwan.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that's when I'm done, you know. But we'll see. That also requires money, and I don't know, maybe it'll be like 5 years later, that's when I retire. Maybe not.
So you want to go out with a bang? That's what you're saying, like for these events, kind of like a
Yeah.
little bucket list, and you think by the end of it you'll feel accomplished. Set.
I feel like I would be, even though if I choose not to go to Tomorrowland, just because I know how expensive that's gonna be.
Yeah.
Um, like Tomorrowland's cool and all, but I feel like I probably wouldn't enjoy it 100% just because of the difference in rave culture from the Europeans versus Americans. Yeah.
All right. As of now, what would you say are your pet peeves, or like what are some problems that you think rave community is dealing with, or just like at events?
I would say the people that don't understand plur, or that's just not like nice to the other people in the rave community. You know, it's not hard to say sorry, excuse me, and thank you while going through crowds, but people aren't really thinking about that. They just kind of shove their way in and stuff. Um, People that take too much, like they don't know their limit, and they are constantly needing someone to take care of them. Like, it's one thing if you're self-sufficient and you know your limit, but you know there are times where you're just tired or your body gives way, but at the same time it's like if you know your limit but you're still trying to go over your limit and people are taking care of you because you're not self-sufficient, then that's an issue. Like I've seen a lot of people floored and whatnot, you know, it's whatever, I'll take care of you. But if it's every single event, then that's when I'm like, you need to slow down. Um, I would say ravers who drive but are still on something, that's a big pet peeve. Because I don't know how many cars I've seen on the road driving back from beyond.
Yeah, that was bad. There's
They
so many
were
totaled cars.
swerving left and right, cars were on the side, or they're just driving too slow because they can't really, like, you know, focus. So if you're doing any pre-workout or any other things, just make sure you have a DD or someone that's responsible enough to know that they're going to be sober by the end of the night to drive home, you know. Biggest ick for me, frat boys at raves.
How do you know they're
They're not
frat
it.
boys?
I would say it's you can kind of tell they're frat boys just based off of what they wear, and just their vibes. Because like at Slander LA, day one, our group was pretty much right next to a bunch of frat boys. Like they didn't give two shits. They were too hyped and they were bumping into everyone, not saying sorry. Yeah. Like even like two knows. Two was right next to them. And even the kid was getting bumped left and right and we had to move him out. So
Mhm.
yeah.
For sure. Oh, and by the way, thank you guys for tuning into the podcast. We're near the end. We're talking about raving and everything. I really appreciate you guys.
Ooh.
What's up? What's up?
Another is the creepy guys. Creepy guys.
Like, okay, yeah, other pet peeves.
The guys that would constantly hit on girls and yeah, that's not it.
Hmm.
Like it's one thing if you're shooting your shot, if you get turned down, cool, whatever, just move on, do your own thing. But if you get turned down and you're trying consistently and harassing, or like if you make a move on them without asking for their consent, that's a big no for me. Like I've seen people just grab girls and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? You didn't even ask them. Yeah.
Happens a lot at clubs, but you probably do see that at raves from time to time.
I've seen it at raves multiple times, and some of these girls would just feel uncomfortable, and that's kind of what gives. I would say that's one of the things that gives the rave community a bad name. Just that those type of things.
Like a bad rep.
Yeah, especially towards the guys that go raving. Yeah.
That was a solid list of pet peeves and problems, I'd say. We could talk specifically about like now specific events, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. Let's talk about Beyond. Beyond was the most recent one. Fresh in your memory. You soloed. You mentioned you met up with lots of different groups, including like Rave Haven, our group, the group from Yuzu. Yeah, what was your expectations at first, like before going there, and then just like what actually happened for you?
In all honesty, I had no expectations for Beyond. I was just going there, to meet people, to give out trinkets and perlers. And, day one was pretty fun, even though I left you guys at Tsunami. Because, okay, I wanted to see Tsunami,
Yeah.
but seeing her, I was like, this is not it.
Oh,
This
that's
is not my vibe. I was
true.
falling asleep,
I
so
was
Saber and I left.
Yeah, I was surprised. People are not happy with Tsunami this time around.
Yeah. So I was like, nope. Saber and I dipped, and then he was going to, I think it was the hardstyle stage. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to be meeting up with people at Yuzu, and then I'll meet up with people at Rave Haven, because their meetup times were basically around the same time. So I kind of stood around between the med tent and the overdose tent for, I don't even know how long, maybe like 45 minutes. And I was like, no one's
Wow.
here. I don't see anyone.
Yeah.
But I did talk to a lot of people and stuff like that. That's where I got the tangerine and the little hand and the duck.
Yeah.
And then from there, I was like, hey, I see the Rave Haven flag. So I go over there, said hi to Ved. And then that's when Anna spotted me and she was like, wait, are you Hein? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, oh, did you see anyone from Yuzu? And I was like, no, I was over there, but no one was there. And so I think it was like 5 minutes in. She was like, hey, you want to go to the Yuzu meetup spot and see if anyone's there? I was like, yeah, okay. So we both left Rave Haven back to the med tent and overdose tent. And we did meet up with a few people that were from Yuzu. And we kind of just stuck with them. We went to crank that together. And then,
Nice.
funny enough, from there, she was like, hey, do you see Rave Haven's flag? And I look around and I noticed that they were on the left side, like back left of the stage, and we were back right. I was like, yeah, I see them. You want to go? And she was like, yeah. So
she was in both groups?
Yeah, she was also in both groups.
Oh, okay.
So she gave my Swiffer totem to one of the guys from Yuzu, and I was like, okay, let's go. And we met up with Rave Haven, and that's when I realized that Jory was part of Rave Haven. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
what the fuck? And you know, we were having fun, and then I would say like towards the end of Crank That, that's when she was like, hey, let's go back to Yuzu and grab them so that we can merge both groups together. I was like, okay, bet. So we went back, and little did we know we couldn't find the group because they left. And we're like, oh shit. So then, like, let's go back to Rave Haven. So we tried going back, and we lost Rave Haven as well because they also left.
That's a lot of going back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we basically went through the route that was right under the bleachers. And like during that time, I think it was Ghastly who was about to perform. So like we were just going back and forth, and I was like, oh shit, I realized that she didn't have water, and I have a water bag. So I was like, here, drink some water. So I was taking care of her while we were running back and forth. And eventually we kind of made the decision to stay at Ghastly for a bit just because there was no reception, no one was responding. And I think midway through Ghastly, while still looking for Rave Haven, I was like, wait, I recognize that Piplup totem.
Oh,
And I was like,
Jarrell.
yeah. So I was like, hey, I think one of my friends is over there. You want to go there? And she was like, yeah, sure. So walked over there, said hi to Jarrell, got a picture with him, introduced Anna to Jarrell and his friends. And then after that, we're like, okay, we're going to go now. And as we were leaving, Ghastly started performing Falling Apart. And that's when I told her, hey, can we stay for the song? And she was like, okay. So we stayed. And then I think after the first drop, that's when I was like, okay, let's go. And so I heard the second drop. I think it was like more techno. And I was like dancing with her while walking together. And it's funny because during that time, she kept apologizing. She was like, oh, I'm sorry you have to like deal with this and stuff. And I was like, don't apologize. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's all part of, you know, the rave experience. You know, you
True.
get lost, you're side questing. It's still memories to be made. And eventually she said that her phone was dying. And I was like, oh shit, I forgot to bring my charging cord. Like I had my portable battery in my bag,
Yeah.
but I didn't bring a cord. I was like, okay, let's go find a charging station. So we did find one. I basically paid for the power bank for her so that she can charge her phone. And eventually, maybe like an hour later, we found Yuzu. And then we kind of went off with I forgot what other sets we went to, but the house stage was not it. I was falling asleep, but I was trying to still, you know, keep the vibes going. At Sullivan King, that's when one of the guys in Yuzu tried to start a mosh pit.
Oh
And keep in
shit.
mind, this is in the back of the crowd.
Like outside
And
the
so,
tent?
oh no, we were inside the tent still, but like we were towards the back.
Yeah.
And he was bumping into everyone, like everyone in the group and everyone around us.
Oh
And people
gosh.
were not having it. And this one big buff guy, he literally turned to him and he was like, hey, I need you to stop it. But he didn't listen. And it wasn't until one of the girls that was holding her totem, she told him to chill out.
Guy in
And
the
that's
group.
when he stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we were about to leave and go to, well, I forgot, what was the stage right behind the caterpillar stage?
Oh, I forgot what that one's called, but I saw it at the end of D2.
Yeah,
I
so
never went there.
we were trying to go there. So we lost the guy that was starting to start mosh pit. And then, you know, as someone that is in the front constantly, I'm constantly looking back to make sure that everyone in the group was there. I realized that we were missing one person other than the guy starting the mosh pit.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, where's Anna? And then someone told me, oh, she found Rave Haven. I was like, okay, cool. And so we tried going into the crowd, but we were kind of stuck there just because of how crowded it was. So we're like, nah, we're good. We ended up sitting right outside of the Caterpillar stage because a few of us were tired and one person was just too messed up.
Yeah.
Little did we know that the guy that was messed up had his phone stolen as well.
Oh my god.
So we were just like, fuck. And
They
then
took advantage of him.
yeah, exactly. And that's why I say, like, if you're planning on taking pre-workout and you're going solo, just be cautious, be aware. But yeah, so all that happened, and then a few of them went to see Subtronics. I stayed, and then the girl with the totem and her sister stayed with the guy that was too messed up. But then eventually, the girl with the totem sister and the guy that was messed up got too cold, so they kind of left to go find like the fire, the heater.
Yeah. Like those poles.
Yeah, so it was just that girl and I just sitting there, and we were just talking and whatnot. It was fun, and then when it was time, I was like, "Oh, I have to go." I got my Swiffer back, and then I went to the beatbox station, and
Yeah.
Saber found me. So that's when Saber and I started walking to Queen's Domain to find you guys, and we saw Nathaniel and Angel with Koji, and then we saw Chill run up to Nathaniel. And I'm not gonna get into the specifics of what happened, but that was kind of funny because Saber and I, we were just like, let's keep walking.
Oh, you're talking about at the bench?
Yeah.
Oh, day one at the bench.
Yeah, but it was like before we got to the bench, we saw Nathaniel, and that's when Chill came up, and yeah. But
Oh, so before you found us, but you found
Yeah.
Chill. Okay.
yeah, and so that was basically that night for day one. That was
Yeah.
pretty fun, Day two for me, it was extremely fun just because I was stuck with Rave Haven.
Yeah.
And it was just a vibe. Like, I met people that I didn't meet before at Rave Haven.
Mm.
And we were just vibing. We used the Swiffer as the rails. I was headbanging with Nando and a few others. And it was kind of funny because when it came to dabbing, after I gave Jory the hollow perler,
Yeah.
I gave a girl in the group a dab and perler that I made. And then from then on, she kind of was like always hovering around me. Like, either she'd be next to me, behind me, or in front of me, and I'm like, I'm here vibing. I'm not. I don't need a rave bay, just vibing. But I can kind of tell that she wanted me to dance with her, but I was like, let me do my own thing. But yeah, that was pretty much day two, just vibing with anyone.
How far in
Yeah.
were you guys for that day two?
For what?
For dabbing, like during that time.
We were middle back, I would say. We didn't get too into the crowd. Yeah, it was like middle back, just because we ended up going back to. Oh no, we ended up going to BTSM right after.
Damn, you
So
saw
that's why we were.
BTSM?
Yeah, that's why we were back there.
How lit was it? Just tell me.
Oh, it was so good. Okay, BTSM played Phase One's remix of Hollow. I've never heard it live until then, and I was raging so hard. It was just so good.
Damn.
Like you had Davin playing it, And I was like, singing my lungs out. But when BTSM was playing it, I think I lost my voice for a bit.
And then you ran back to Slander or for Slander?
Yeah, so then after BTSM,
Oh.
we all went back to Slander.
Wait, how far in for BTSM were you at? And then for Slander?
We went into the left middle of the crowd.
Okay.
Yeah, so we were like a pretty good
Because
distance.
it was crowded as fuck
Yeah.
for both stages.
And somehow we still made it out and made it to Slander. And that's when I cried.
But you were in a decent spot for Slander too?
We were towards the back. Like, we were slightly outside the tent.
Okay.
But by the time JB found me,
Yeah.
and I saw that Hantaro.
Oh, Hantaro, yeah.
Yeah, was with JB. That's when, like, there was more space to move up because people were leaving, and so we all kind of just scooted up forward. And I think that was the only time. That was the only time I think I started vibing with the girl I gave the dab and perler to. It was like towards the end, because then I put my arm around Jory, and then I put my arm around her and her friend, and we were just like singing like this.
Vibes,
But, like,
man.
But like when I put my arm around her, I can tell she was trying to move right in front of me, and I was like, my legs are gonna be right here blocking you from moving in front of me.
So subtle.
Like
Yeah.
as much as I would love to have a rave bay for, beyond, I was like, I'm not trying to do that right now. No, I'm good.
Mm. Mm.
But yeah, that was the Beyond recap.
A Beyond experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, love that. So, what's next for you? Next few events or even festivals?
I think the next one should be Excision, if I'm correct. Let me check.
Oh, so you have Excision, Kaiwachi in April. Right?
Yeah, so Excision should be first and then Kaiwachi. Yeah, so Excision is the week of April 12th, if I'm correct. Kaiwachi is towards the end of April. And then after that, it's EDC, and then ending it with Lost in Dreams. And whether or not I go to another event, it's to be determined.
Yeah,
just because
a lot of
I did
circumstances.
promise. Yeah, I did promise someone that I would go to an event with her. Just because she's moving down here, and I was like, okay, fine, you get one event.
Oh shit. Okay, someone's moving down. Lit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, she kind of got. I guess she kind of got mad at me because I said, or she found out that I was planning on retiring. She was like, "You're retiring before I move down here." I was like, oh, "Fine, you get one event." Yeah.
Nice. So, who are you most excited to see for or at EDC?
Ooh. Keizo, Excision, Wooly. Wait, Kaiwachi's gonna be there, right? Yes? No?
I
can't
heard
remember.
Kaiwachi was there.
Okay, Kaiwachi, Slander, Elenium, Dabin. Those are my top 7. Yeah. If they have conflicts, then I'm kind of fucked.
Which group are you going with, or what's the plan?
I'm going with Drew and Delana.
Yeah.
I already told them that I'm sticking with them the whole time.
For all 3
just
days?
because, yeah, all 3 days. Just because, I've had prior experiences where there was constantly drama.
Yeah.
Going with different groups, so I'm kind of tired of, constantly hearing about the drama and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So being with Drew and Delana, there's little to no drama, and if there is, it's always solved immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I enjoy raving with Drew and Delana and their group.
You guys have a big group?
It's a small group. I know we're gonna meet up with everyone anyway, but at the same time, it's like wherever they go, I'll go.
Mhm.
But if if the girl I'm talking to ends up going to EDC, I might have her just join Drew and Delana with
Yeah.
me, because then it'll be her first EDC.
Mm.
You know,
Gotta be surrounded with good people for sure.
good people and people that won't cause drama, because that's not something I want them to experience. You know,
Mm.
it's not a good rave experience if there's drama happening during or after the event.
Yeah, right.
Kind of ruins the mood, you know.
How about for Lost in Dreams?
Um, Depending on how many days Drew and Delana go,
Yeah.
if they go Saturday, I'll be with them for Saturday. If not, then I will be going solo again.
Mm.
I'll meet up with you guys and stuff like that, but I'll probably be running around or meeting up with different groups. But if the special girl's going, I'll be with her.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right, here it is. Time for the question. We already
Why
know,
are you so
guys.
hot?
Oh no.
Why are
I
you
could I could
ADD?
ask you that too. Good one, good turnaround. So, what is a rave bay and how do you get one?
A rave bay is basically a person that you connect with and vibe with for the rave. It could be that night only, it could be that entire festival, or it could just be, whatever festivals down the road. Um, you're not 100% tied to them as in like relationship and whatnot. You can have multiple rave bays at one night at one event, you know. Um, how to get one? There's not really a set in stone way of how to get one. Sometimes you just talk to them and then you guys vibe and then you guys end up dancing with each other. Sometimes it's pre-planned. You'll meet someone on like let's say a dating app or like maybe it's a friend of a friend and then you're like, hey, you want to be rave mate? Cool, okay. Um, Another way is just sometimes giving them trinkets or perlers, candy. That definitely works. I mean, you know,
Yeah, the story you just told. Yeah.
yeah, like that definitely works. And other times you just have to be straightforward. Like, if you want to ask someone to be a rave bay or dance with you, just ask. And that goes for both guys and girls. Shoot your shot. If not, fine. If you get turned down, be cool about it. Let them know, hey, it's fine. Have a good night. Enjoy the rest of the night, and just keep vibing. I mean,
Mhm.
I've got turned down multiple times. I was like, whatever, I'm here to vibe. I was still dancing around them, still talking to them. It is what it is. Don't take it to heart. And don't go to an event looking for a rave bay. Because if that's your main goal and you don't get one, you're gonna feel real shitty. And just enjoy the vibes, enjoy the music, the people around you, and you'll be fine. And like
Solid advice. Yeah.
that's what I tell people that are, new to raving. Rave bay is not your priority. Your priority is looking at the stage, not looking at girls or guys around. And also take care of people. The people in your group, and if you're up to it, the people around you.
Yeah. Share a success story experience of that finding one.
There's two.
Okay. More
The
stories to tell.
first one was beyond last year. Kind of just happened, but that was because I was on pre-workout. I'm not gonna go into detail with that one. Second one was trilogy. That was planned, to be honest. Like we just, it was Yuzu. I met her on there, and day one talking, and then day two we met up, gave her the Elenium Perler I made for her, and yeah, we were just vibing. She would pull me in. We'd be hugging everyone, and then you know we would just make moves on each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the plan when you talked about their Yuzu. So a Yuzu success story.
Yeah, pretty much. Also, another thing.
Yeah.
Just because you're a rave bait doesn't mean you have to kiss them. You can be rave baits without kissing. So I don't know who gave the idea of you're only a rave bait if you kiss.
Did someone say that to you?
Oh no, I remember someone saying it in your chat, and I don't remember who, but they said you're only a rave bait if you guys kiss. And I'm like, nope, it's not
Okay.
true.
Interesting. The unspoken rules or guidelines.
Mm-hmm. Oh, one more thing I would like to add. There
Go
is
for it.
nothing wrong with side questing. There is nothing wrong with that. For people who love to side quest, do your thing.
Yeah.
And side questing does not specifically mean going out to find a girl. It means going off from your group, doing what you need to do, getting lost, finding new groups, or just exploring. That's what side questing is. It's not trying to find a rave bay. So whoever's been telling you that that's what side questing is, they're wrong. And you do get side quest EXP.
Yeah, you grow as a raver, so side questing,
Yeah, the best side quester is definitely Saber.
He's up there. He's up there. Wonder
Yeah.
what the max level is, but for sure getting somewhere.
Go as high as you want. But yeah.
All right, wrapping things up with the rave talk. Is there anything else you want to mention in regards to that? Could be advice or I don't know, things you want to say about maybe our group, whoever sites.
As much as I like raving with our group,
Mhm.
there are certain reasons why I choose not to stick with you guys. Don't take it to heart.
Ooh, yes, please do tell.
Don't take it to
Please
heart.
be honest.
But there are certain reasons. Reason number one, there is drama constantly happening. If there's no drama happening, I would love to stick with you guys. But as of recent events, that is why I don't want to stick with you guys. And it's not specific people and stuff like that. It's just drama in general.
Things that happen.
And it's been happening more recent. And that's why there's a few people that were originally in the group that don't end up going to events with the group itself. So that's the specific reason. I'm not going to get into detail, but it's just that's the one thing that turned me off, and that's why I said I'm going solo. I don't mind meeting up for a few sets. I just won't stick around until that issue is resolved and there's no drama, there's no rumors and stuff like that, or if everyone can just talk it out. I won't stick with you guys.
Facts.
Yeah. And like if and this is to everyone else as well, like if you are in a group where there's constantly shit happening, maybe it's time to find a new group or go solo. Cause having shit happen to you before during or after the event, it kind of spoils the mood, and you don't want that. You know, going to events it's a place where you can openly express yourself and do what you want as long as you're conscious of what you're doing and the people around you. You know, if you're plur, perfect. If you know you're self-sufficient and you can take care of people, go ahead and do that. But if there's people that are disrespecting you behind your back, maybe it's time for you to find new people. Like, I'm not saying like to unfriend them. I mean, like, don't go to events with them. You know, you can go with them, meet up with them, don't stick around them. It's better for your mental health and your emotional health at the end of the day.
Yeah, well said. Plus, you're putting in the money and time and energy to be there, so have the best
Exactly.
experience for yourself.
Exactly. Like, would you want to spend hundreds of dollars going to an event just to have a bad experience? Probably not, right? Because then, to me, that would be a waste of money. So, just do your own thing. You can still be friends with them.
Yeah.
Until everything resolved, I'm solo or going with other groups.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, it's not hard to resolve issues. It really isn't. So just be an adult about it, talk it out. If things work out, cool. If not, so be it.
Yeah, I appreciate the transparency for sure.
Especially,
Especially,
keeping it real.
yeah. And then you're thriving off of it too. Like you're enjoying your time even better. Like meeting up with a lot of people, new people in general, and you're free. Your mind is free of all that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, be more open-minded, I would say. Like, don't be so close-minded like my brother's old group where they're not accepting.
Yeah.
Accept the people around you for who they are, and if they fuck up, they fuck up. Just let them know. They'll learn, they'll grow. It is what it is. If not, then just don't go to an event with them. Simple.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice way to end that at least. And then the last question before we wrap things up. This is perfect. Almost bedtime. I asked this before on the old podcast, but for you, what was your first impression and current impression of me?
It's like you said, my first impression of you was I thought you were introverted. But like the more I got to know you, I realized that you're one of the most down to earth people that I know. You're not judgmental at all, and you have your fun days as well, especially when you're unhinged. And not gonna lie, I do.
Mondays.
Yeah, not gonna lie, I do like the unhinged you, just because it feels like you're more comfortable in your own shell and stuff like that.
Real.
And I do see that you're more outgoing now. But I mean,
Still controlled.
yeah, you're controlled, but you're still outgoing. Like when we were at Escape, I noticed that you were just like out there, in a good way.
Escape. Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't there for day one, but I heard about it.
Oh yeah.
But
But I saw
day
you day two.
yeah, day two and stuff like that, and it's just fun because then we can also kind of joke around with each other. Like at Escape, I was like, "Hey, Wilson, there's a cute girl," and I tried shoving you in front of me, and you pushed me forward, and I was like, "Oh, that's for you." Stuff like that. Like that's
Reverse swingman.
fun. For real. For real. But yeah, first impression till now, that was basically it, you know.
Mm.
I definitely would like to know your impression of me to now. What has changed?
Ooh. So I do recall, like when I first met you, you already talked about the introduction, how it was through Chowie, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was like it was the karaoke night or something
Yeah, it was.
where it was so cool that you were willing to put yourself out there to join my community to just like start singing and stuff. And it was like good
Mm-hmm.
vibes. And then knowing that I was gonna go visit SoCal, you wanted to like meet up.
Mm-hmm.
Like you were down just to go alone to meet all these like strangers and stuff. But then when that happened, I was like, all right, like another person here. It was still one of the first few like times that I went out and about to like meet up with people, you know. So I was still
Mm-hmm.
like getting used to it. So I thought that was really cool. You were definitely like in general similar to me. Like you're definitely quiet. You're observing everyone and stuff. So we're the same in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
And then as we got to know you more, it just you definitely seem like you hold back your crackhead energy and your voice when you're out there, you know, like how you kind of like you speak relatively low.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like control my voice too, like the sound, the volume of it.
Yeah.
But then I've realized like how much fun and excitement you have. Like it is to like be with you and to actually see you like out there at events for sure. You're
You mean
definitely
my crackhead
way
energy?
yeah, the crackhead energy goes crazy and you show a lot you're like open to show a lot more emotions. Like not just
Mm-hmm.
sad but happy, raging, stuff like that. It's very dope. It's very dope to see how you're also putting yourself out there to meet people, like take care of people, conversate, give trinkets and like candies and everything, pearlers. I see that.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of like for me, it's such a funny and weird way to say this, but I'm gonna compare it. So I always joke around about my Twitch journey, and I
Mm-hmm.
say I feel like I'm living in my own One Piece version of life, where I'm setting sail on this journey in life, and I'm like constantly like finding new friends who are who are down to join, you know, my crew.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels like I've met you, and then you joined the crew, and then now you're like, all right, it's time for me to do my own thing now. So now you're like venturing off, and you got your own like side quests and stuff to like work on. And although we're not like together, I see that growth, and it's so cool to just to um yeah, see you thrive that way.
Well, I
It's
mean, it's
funny.
not that we're not together. It's more like we still go together. I
Yes,
just
yeah,
venture off, and then we meet up again. So,
yeah. So it's it's like when friggin' like Ash like meets people like trainers, and then they go on journeys together, and then it's time for them to like, you know, split up to go to like a new season type of thing, and then you
Mhm.
meet back again, and then there's those like special episodes or maybe like a
Mhm.
future season where like Brock comes back and everything. It feels
That's
like
what I was
that.
thinking.
It feels
That's what
like
I was
that.
thinking.
It's like
Like
hella.
Brock.
It's cool,
Hmm.
but that's like more so towards like when it's in person, like at raves and events. Because then it's
Yeah.
very different when it's on Twitch. Like on Twitch, realistically, we're all still like together and it's close knit and we're always talking.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's like my thought process of like you from before and now current impression. But like I definitely hold you as like a really close friend that we could talk anything,
Hmm.
like talk about anything. Like it could be
Yeah,
quick
definitely.
too. Like even if we don't need to talk, if it comes down to it, we'll say everything we need to say like within like 5 minutes or something, and it's like okay, we got our updates, we're good. Yeah.
Except for that one time when I was driving you down.
Oh, that was funny. Yeah, that was
I became a
more
yapper
more
that day.
more adventures. It wasn't that bad. Like you gave me a fair warning, and I had my expectations because of that, but
Hmm.
it worked well.
I mean, that was funny though.
Yeah.
But yeah. I still find it hilarious that you experienced me crying 2 times at events.
Yeah. Wait, the most noticeable one was EDC, right? And then
Trilogy, day two.
yeah, trilogy. Ah, yeah,
Yeah,
you
that,
just let your emotions run. It's like it's cool.
yeah. And it was just every time it was just you noticing. Nobody else noticed, and I was
You're
like,
just like, why are you like? You're just like, it's you again that's noticing. It's so funny.
it's even funnier because then I thought you actually caught it in your vlog, and I was like, oh, thank God you didn't. Yeah,
Yeah,
because I was like, "Ugh."
I don't think I would put that in, but I remember like getting you headbanging after crying at
Yeah,
EDC. Yeah.
yeah, that's normally how it goes. I will cry bang
Hmm.
like immediately. I'm like bawling my eyes out, and next second is like breaking my back.
Yeah, you already know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's been a fun conversation we've had. I'll at least wrap things up for the YouTube segment and then get ready for bed. But do you have any last few words you want to say to everyone watching, or just like in general, anything you want to wrap things up with?
To everyone watching, I would say stay true to yourself. Don't let things bother you too much. Um, if you need people to vent to, there's always someone in your friend group that's willing to listen. Other than that, let's find Wilson a rave bay for EDC.
Not you two, man. Not you two, bro.
Hey, I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone in chat agrees. They want Wilson a rave bay.
Don't say anything, guys. Don't say anything. Anything else? Anything else you want to talk about, or like last few things to shout out or mention?
I just want to shout out to my close friends. You guys know who you are. You guys are the real ones. You guys are the ones that helped me through some of my most difficult times, and maybe in future events you will see me with my Swiffer totem again. Sweeping the floor, cleaning up after people, and headbanging with it, using it as a rail, just like how Emmy saw me sweeping the floor at Beyond.
Skills right there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that concludes this episode of the Chat with Wilson podcast featuring Hein for episode 13. You chose your number, and here we are already getting like a little update from you. I appreciate your time. What are you going to do for the rest of the night since you're off?
Well, since I'm off, I'm going to be cooking dinner and lunch for tomorrow for my brother and me. Possibly playing some video games just because I have plenty of time before I need to go to sleep, since I do sleep at 7 to 8 in the morning.
Jeez. Yeah.
I'm definitely going to have to respond to a lot of messages just because there's a lot of messages I need to catch up on.
Okay.
But, yeah.
All right. Well, that's it, guys. Thank you, guys. If you're watching as a live audience, I appreciate all of you guys. I want to apologize because the alerts were offline during the duration, so I might have missed some stuff. Even if you guys are lurking, thank you guys. And if you guys are watching on YouTube, tune in for the next one. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. We will see you for episode 14 in the near future. That's a wrap. Peace.